We welcome you to Memphis, Tennessee, and you're watching the American Conference on ESPN for an important matchup. UCF taking on Memphis. That sound familiar to you? It ought to, because last year they hooked up in one of the most memorable conference title games ever.
I don't care, Group of Five, Power Five, the Jackson Five. These two teams with so much on the line. No good. We'll go to overtime. The Tigers draw first blood in overtime. Let's see what Mackenzie Milton can do. Touchdown! Knights back on top in the second overtime. Need a touchdown to keep the game going. Ferguson. Trey Neal on the pick. The Knights of UCF are the American Athletic Conference champions.
And in that game, in this win streak that UCF has, was the last time they trailed in a game at halftime. That's how dominant the Knights have been. Will they extend that domination this afternoon in Memphis at the Liberty Bowl? Or will the Tigers score the upset and knock UCF out of the ranks of the unbeaten? Hello again, everybody, along with the former Buffalo Bill Ray Bentley and Alex Cordry. And we'll hear from in a moment. I'm Dave Lamont. Thank you for joining us. And Ray, there's a lot going on here. We got a streak of UCF at 18 in a row. In this stadium, Memphis has won 12 in a row. Each of the last 4 years, they've beaten a ranked team in this stadium. What are you expecting today?
Oh, I don't know if I'm expecting a Memphis upset, but it could very easily happen. Memphis is talking about this one like a revenge game, a rivalry game. They owe these UCF Knights. And meanwhile, the Knights, not so much. They say, yeah, it's another game. It's a big game, though, and they understand the deal. You have two great offenses in this ball game, both averaging over 46 points a game. Usually when you get that kind of matchup, the game will be decided on defense or special teams. That's what I'm looking for.
We're also going to be looking for a Heisman Trophy candidate out here in UCF quarterback Mackenzie Milton, and he is a special player.
He is really good. As good as anyone I've seen in terms of eye-to-hand execution. Watch him use his eyes here. He freezes the safety number 4. That's going to create an opening for him later in this play. Then he gets his run-pass read. He sees the blitzer coming. He knows he's going to pull it and throw it into the window he created with his eyes. His ability to manipulate defenses is amazing. Here he is on the goal line. Again, another RPO opportunity. He sees the tight end breaking free, no one home in the middle, and he's able to exploit it. And that's what he does. He runs this high-tempo offense, and he's so far ahead of everybody else, he's able to anticipate and exploit.
Well, for Memphis, a lot at stake for this game. They've had an up-and-down season, already 2 losses in the conference, but they are explosive, and they're explosive in the run game. Darrell Henderson is the nation's leading rusher.
And he's fun to watch. Get ready for this one. In fact, Randy Shannon, the UCF defensive coordinator, called him a bang-and-go back, and that's exactly what he is. He'll bang it up into that line, but if he gets to the second level, that's when the go kicks in, because there are very few defenders in the nation who can get him down one-on-one, and that has led to all the big long runs he's had.
That explosive entrance by Memphis is only the start of what we think will be an explosive football game with big plays. How much does this mean to UCF? Alex will have a word on that when we return. Good crowd here at the Liberty Bowl under cloudy skies here. Chance of rain happening a little bit later on as undefeated UCF taking on the Memphis Tigers today. Yes, it's a long winning streak for UCF, but it hasn't always been good times for them. Just go back 4 years, they didn't win a game in 2015. So time for a coaching change. Scott Frost comes in. Just 6 wins was a remarkable turnaround. And then in 2017, we all know, 13-0, and a portion of the national championship went to Orlando. Now, under Josh Heupel, they are perfect. And for more on the attitude around UCF, let's go to Alex Cordry.
Dave, Knights head coach Josh Heupel says we don't even talk about the win streak. UCF's 18-game winning streak is the longest since Alabama won 26 straight games just about 2 years ago. But that's not what these Knights are focused on. Talking to the conference's defensive player of the week, senior Titus Davis, he says we know who we are, we know where we stand, but we also know that means each week everyone's going to give us their best, adding if we lose this week, that winning streak goes right out the window. So Dave Ray, these Knights look at each week like they're 0-0, and they're hopeful to go 1-0 in Memphis this afternoon.
And it will not be an easy one, Alex. Thank you very much. UCF won the toss, and they took the ball. A lot of teams defer to the second half, but they've decided they want to get an offense that has scored 64% of the time they've had the ball on the field right away.
Yeah, why wait? Light them up.
Memphis has not beaten UCF in this century. They've lost 11 in a row, and here's Adrian Killens. Might be the fastest person in this stadium. Although he has not broken one yet this season in the kick return game anyway for the Knights. Toe has met leather. Let's start. And Killens going to take it. And Killens will be bounced around. He won't even get out to the 20-yard line. Stopped at the 18. We've talked about him already, but here he is, a junior from Hawaii, Mackenzie Milton. 19 consecutive games with a touchdown pass. He is in the top 5 in the NCAA in total offense, and he has a good chance to pass 1,000 career rush yards today.
And I didn't even mention his running ability at the top, Dave. He's an outstanding dual threat guy, as well as his accuracy and his ability to read defenses and take advantage.
And they start out with a little trick play here to Otis Anderson, who is a Mr. Everything for UCF, and he is brought down by the other number 2, TJ Carter, after a 4-yard pickup.
A little razzle-dazzle early, Dave. I think both of these teams are going to reach deep into the bag today to pull out all the stops.
And off here to Killens, as UCF loves to get the snap out as fast as they could, and Killens will have a first down outside the 30 for UCF. That was about a 10-second difference between the time the ball was spotted and off we went.
Yeah, they do tempo as well as anybody I've seen do it, and they just go so fast that D can't get sacked.
And that was about 10 seconds too, with Milton his first pass called, and he is a great improviser on the run, going down the way, and it's going to be incomplete, but a penalty mark is going to come out. Tyrez Lindley, number 22, in coverage there. The pass was underthrown, and I wonder if Trey Nixon could have caught this. Was this a catchable ball?
Well, maybe if he hadn't been grabbed, he could have got back to it. But that's the thing with the underthrown ball.
There's no foul for pass interference. The ball was not catchable. Second down.
Good point, Dave, by you. But you get that so often on an underthrown deep ball. The offensive guy's looking back. He can see it. He's going to go try to get it. Meanwhile, the defensive guy, he didn't get his eyes around. And I can see why they threw the flag, but I think it was good judgment. That was not catchable by Trey Nixon.
Yeah, a couple of officials where that flag was thrown had a quick conference and then informed our referee, Adam Savoy, that no dice, second down and 10.
An unbalanced line.
Staying on the ground, and a very short gain here for UCF. Couple of yards, that's going to be it. It'll be third down and long. Curtis Aikens on the stop.
Yeah, they've thrown a reverse in early, and now they're the second play. They ran an unbalanced line. They're giving Memphis a lot of different looks, and what amazes me is they're able to do it with the tempo. You know, a lot of teams that run that really high tempo, octane offense, they only have a couple plays on their menu. It seems as if UCF can get to anything they want.
Milton, down he goes. That's just the third time that he has been sacked this season. And John Tate, the redshirt sophomore, is hungry for more.
Big play and stand by this Memphis defense to get things rolling. And you're going to see this is just really a 3-man rush, but Tate is able to beat the center and get home. And that's just a one-on-one matchup, and John Tate got it done.
So that'll bring out the punter, Mac Loudermilk. He's a good one. John Williams, Pop Williams, is a good returner. And he's clearing out the traffic, and that will hook out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. So in his first season with the Memphis Tigers, Brady White is the quarterback for Memphis. He, a junior, redshirt junior out of Newhall, California, had been at Arizona State. Threw 5 touchdown passes in his debut, but Ray, he doesn't really have a lot of experience as a starting quarterback.
No, as we saw, just his 8th start as a Division I quarterback, and he's been around it for a long time. He's seen it. He's sat in all those meeting rooms, but an opportunity to play and get things done, he's taken the advantage of it so far, but he's got a long way to go yet.
And we'll get it into the hands right away of Darrell Henderson. He is so difficult to bring down. It's about a 5-yard pickup. Richie Grant in there on the stop.
They're going to try to get that ball to Henderson any which way they can. He is their horse. Now, they've got some other ones. Tony Pollard will get a bunch of touches in this as well.
And we would like to welcome those of you who watched that thrilling Northwestern victory over Nebraska. We're at the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, Tennessee for this American Conference matchup, a rematch of last year's remarkable championship game. Along with Ray Bentley and Alex Cordry, I'm Dave Lamont. We're looking at third down and about 6 here for the Tigers in their first possession. UCF was forced to punt. Brady White underneath. Henderson so hard to bring down with one guy. And that is DeMonte Coxie, actually, number 10. And he will pick up 8 and a first down.
You know, and they gave him a little cheese. They sent Henderson outside, and that got a lot of the UCF eyes on him. And that opened it up on the inside slant.
Here is Henderson. Very short gain there as he is brought down very quickly by Titus Davis. So we take a look now at Brady White in a little bit more detail. Suffered a broken foot at Arizona State, and also, of course, knew Memphis head coach Mike Norvell from his days in the Valley of the Sun.
Yeah, Norvell actually recruited him there, and when he came here, he needed another quarterback after losing Riley Ferguson, and he pulled the switch.
The most explosive running back in college football this year is Darrell Henderson. He's brought down by Richie Grant. And a gain of 16.
He's going to get some blockers out front. They pull the tackle who pins Davis on the end. And then the speed of Henderson is what makes it happen. Nice open field tackle. You don't often see people get him down, but Kalia Davis was able to do so.
And they give to Henderson here. This time no gain on the play. Brendan Hayes, number 6, the tackler there. Henderson has 934 rush yards coming into the game, so he has a chance to go over the 1,000-yard mark at about the midway point of the season, though he's going to come out for a rest here.
He averages almost 12 yards a carry. He is a special back. He'll hit it up in there, but when he gets to that second level, that's when you look out.
So Patrick Taylor, number 6 in blue, will come in.
Taylor's no slouch either. He's got great straight-ahead speed and power.
He goes out for the pattern here. White goes underneath. This is Magnifico, the tight end, and leaping for the first down is the redshirt junior from Cordova, Tennessee.
And they like Magnifico as a receiver, and they'll put him out on the outside and make him primary, which is what he is in this play. Easy pitch and catch for White, and Magnifico goes up and over. Here's a little razzle-dazzle.
8th play of the drive coming up. They go to Wildcat here with Patrick Taylor. And he'll keep it. And Taylor will get to about the 26-yard line. That'll be a 5-yard gain. Davis with another stop there for UCF.
I liked it. They put Brady White out as a receiver, and they've got the 2 backs in that backfield. And that's a tough call on which one you're going to pay most attention to.
A low throw there, too low, as a matter of fact. Incomplete for Pop Williams. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Well, we've talked already about the pace that UCF will play at sometimes. Memphis can go just about as quickly.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of difference. UCF will do a check with me where they'll look over to the sideline a lot of times to get a play. Memphis tries to do it with the quarterback, where Brady White is responsible for making the checks, and that doesn't allow the defense to change things.
Plenty of time for White. Fires, and it's knocked away. Incomplete. Coxie had it, and then he didn't. Neville Clark able to break that up. It's 4th down and 5.
And this ball should have been caught. It hit Coxie right between the 1 and the 0. Good timing by Brady White. You see him look to his right first. That buys him the time. That's a pretty nice rip and strip coming from Clark, but that ball's got to be caught, especially in a big game like this.
Riley Patterson. Longest of the season, 43, and that's exactly what he's looking at right here. Pretty passive weather conditions here in Memphis today. And he will curve that one right down the middle. Memphis has the early lead in this American Conference matchup. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN, and we're at the Liberty Bowl just outside downtown Memphis for this matchup with 5-0 and 10th-ranked UCF on the road at Memphis, where the Tigers have slain some dragons in this stadium in the last few years that have been ranked. And UCF, the highest-ranked team that has come here in a while, and a little bit of wind has kicked up and blown the ball off the tee. There was some talk in a couple of hours of rain showers coming in. At the moment, it doesn't look all that threatening. It's just overcast here. Very comfortable temperatures, by the way, in the mid to low 60s. So a beautiful, beautiful day for the players to be out there. This time Killings will watch this go over his head. Mackenzie Milton talked to us earlier about the value and the importance of trusting your teammates.
So when I think of trust, like this little saying, there's no us if there's no trust. I think that's big, whether it's with the coaches, receivers, the O-line. Everybody's got to work hand in hand. If there's no trust, then that's huge in a team sport like football.
And one of the other things that had to happen, Ray, was he and Josh Heupel had to trust each other, because you just finished a perfect season with Scott Frost and you have a new head coach. We'll get into that here in just a moment, as now UCF breaking a big play here on the handoff, and a big opportunity down the field into Memphis territory goes Marlon Williams.
Well, he got a great block by Greg McCray on the edge, basically pinning the Memphis outside contained defender inside, and that gave Williams plenty of room to the edge.
And lightning fast UCF. Milton, he'll fire it high, caught right around the marker. And that's Williams again with a terrific catch. And that should be another first down for the Knights.
This must be the Marlon Williams drive. They are featuring him, which we did not expect, but it's working out well for him.
Well, that's his 10th catch of the year, and that carry his longest of the year by far. Greg McCray now in number 30 at the tailback spot. And he will get the handoff, trying to find his way through, and he did get across the 30-yard line to about the 28. But watch the mechanics here. The umpire has handed the ball, the umpire spots it, and they're lined up.
Yeah, and they're going a little slower than what you would expect. Now, one thing that you'll see is Mackenzie Milton will give a quick clap with the hands, and that tells everybody we're going really fast.
McCray again, pretty much the same play, and he busts this one inside the 10 and fighting for a couple additional yards. McCray with a big run. Josh Perry finally stopped him 22 yards later.
And this is a great block by number 86, Koulibaly, the tight end. He does a return motion and leads it up in there.
McCray one more time, dragging a tackler. That's 55, Bryce Huff. Inside the 5 to the 4. That's a solid 3-yard pickup.
And Bryce Huff has started this now the 4th game in a row here. He got in there due to injury, but he became a revelation for this coaching staff. He's their best one-on-one edge pass rusher, and he's made a lot of plays in the last few weeks.
Yeah, the Tulane game, although that was a bad night for Memphis, was a great night for Bryce Huff. That was 2 weeks ago on a Friday. Milton looking end zone, slant pattern, overdone, incomplete, trying to get it to Gabe Davis. And there's a flag.
Looks like they're going to get Tito Wyndham on the pass interference as he was draped over top.
Defense number 24. Foul occurred in the end zone. By rule, the ball is placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
You can put your hands on the receiver, but you can't impede his progress. And you see he's got a hold of the back of the jersey, and that's what the call was all about.
First and goal, 2-yard line. Taj McGowan now, number 4. Taj McGowan comes in at the tailback spot. He'll get it. And he's in. Touchdown.
They love to use McGowan in the red zone. And because it's the reason is he's 6'2", 210. He's their biggest back by quite a bit. And so he'll get the extra power, and he showed it there. Good push up front by the offensive line. A smart drive by these Knights to grab the lead.
Number 3 in the NCAA in total offense. They are number 10 in the nation in rushing at about 270 yards a game. And they did this 6 plays, 75 yards in a minute and 47 seconds.
And it's just power up the gut. The big boys pushing. And McGowan getting into the end zone for the Knights.
College football on ABC is presented by Walmart. Discover more ways to shop at Walmart today. In part by Jiffy Lube. You can do more in a jiffy. And Chevy. Chevy has earned J.D. Power Dependability Awards for cars, trucks, and SUVs.
They must have shot that at sunrise because Beale Street is not normally that quiet.
It wasn't last night, from what I hear anyway.
Yeah, that's the rumor. Taj McGowan's second touchdown run, a third touchdown run of the season. A senior out of Hollywood, Florida, putting UCF in front after falling behind 3-0. They lead 7-3 here.
And several people made the comment the track meet might have just started. These two offenses are going to run up and down this field if it stays true to form.
Well, here they're going to avoid kicking to Tony Pollard. Henderson will have to come up. He's got to catch that, and he does, and he's going nowhere. So Memphis gets poor field position. We will be back in 15 seconds. So UCF avoiding the explosive Tony Pollard, and this paid off for the field position game, but Henderson can change field position very quickly. Look at him go here. Henderson has run all over the field. Now it's a foot race, and he'll take it out of bounds as he didn't have the numbers in. Brandon Moore chases him. What a spectacular run for Henderson. He's done it again.
That's the bang and go Randy Shannon was worried about, the defensive coordinator of the Knights. Once he gets to that second level, Henderson is going to go a long way, and it's just amazing. Then he got a block at the end from his quarterback, Brady White, hustling down the field.
Ninth rush of 40 yards or more for Henderson this year. White on the keep, plays off of his big center, Drew Kaiser, number 54, and gets about 4 yards there. Second down, Gilliard on the stop for the Knights.
We talked to Randy Shannon, and he said, you know, they're going to do a lot of different things, show us formations, and try to get our eyes out of place. Our eyes need to be on number 8, and we need to take care of that business, and that's what this is all about for this UCF defense.
Well, looks like Henderson's going to be in charge of the offense here. He bumbles the snap. The ball's on the ground, and he's going to have to fall on it. That's going to lose back to the 41-yard line.
A little bit of a low snap coming out from Kaiser, but, you know, it's just something that Darrell Henderson doesn't do a whole lot of. Take snaps out of that shotgun, and it backfired on him.
So instead of second and medium, it's now third down and a little more than 10.
They may be in 4-down territory. They may not have to get it all on this one.
Delayed blitz. White guns it near the mark. That's going to be really close to see what they do with forward progress here. And it looks like they're going to be just short. You're faced with fourth down and less than a yard to go here.
Yeah, and you're going, and they're going fast right now. And my money says number 8's going to get the football.
He does, and he gets the first down easily for Henderson. Do you see the same guy I see when I watch Henderson, which is Marshawn Lynch, that same style?
Yeah, that's a great analogy, a comparison right there. And it's the whole bang and go thing we talked about, where he can rough it up in between the tackles, but once he gets to that next level, he's a next level guy.
Patrick Taylor comes in now, number 6, to relieve him. And UCF plugging the gaps that time. Nice job. You saw 91 Joey Connors on top, and also Kenny Sunye, number 7, and Nate Evans in there, 44, to clog things up. It'll be second down and 10.
I think Nate Evans is a very good player at that inside linebacker spot. He didn't start initially, but he has the last few games, and with good cause.
White, play action fake, in trouble, avoids the sack, and double pitches it. A rugby-style pass to Magnifico, and it's going to be an incompletion Memphis will be happy with.
And that's a dubious decision right there by Brady White. Just only bad things can happen when you're getting torn down and thrown to the ground, and that's just one you want to have back, and you're just thankful it wasn't calamitous.
But he avoided the sack and avoided a big loss of yardage there, too. That's why it may not have been the worst thing in the world.
Puts him in another 3rd and long here.
UCF threatening a blitz. It's picked up. White's got time. Under the defense, it's going to be incomplete. There's a marker down. Might be an offsides here. And it is.
Yeah, The blitzer came up and looks like he got into the neutral zone. It was a delayed flag.
Offside. Defense number 44. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Here he is right up here coming in, and that's Nate Evans, who we were talking about the play before. And look, he's in the neutral zone right there. Looked like he almost got out. The official double clutched the flag, but ended up throwing it.
And now they have everybody looking toward the sideline and direct snap for a first down. Well, Mike Norvell promised us some unique formations. That was a direct snap to Henderson while everybody watched Brady White stare at the sideline.
And they did the old fake check with me and did the quick snap on him. Good stuff.
White going for the goal line, and it's batted around and incomplete.
Big coverage by Brandon Moore, because that one was really close. Coxie had his hands on it, and he's their best 50-50 guy. When that ball's in the air, he goes and gets it, but Brandon Moore took it that time.
Mike Norvell is the play caller for Memphis. In fact, both head coaches are calling the plays here. The 10th play of the drive coming up for the Tigers.
Another odd formation by this Memphis offense.
Is this a legal formation?
It is not currently. You don't have near enough guys on the line, but they're just trying to create tempo by doing something odd and then snapping the ball relatively quick.
They got 1 second and they got it off just in time, and Henderson is taken down. All of that ended up in a loss as Neville Clark wasn't buying anything that was being sold.
No, UCF just sat back and said, that's all right, we're going to blitz our corner, so you go ahead and do whatever you want to do. And Clark came off the edge, no one touched him, makes the big tackle for loss.
Third down and about a dozen here. And could be under offsides, you're right. White going to go for 6. Overthrown. But he should get 5 yards here.
Offside. Defense number 7. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Senier is the one who jumped off sides and a little sloppy early, and it tells me Brady White's doing good things with his cadence. He's getting these Knights to jump off sides, and then they're getting the snap quick and getting that free play.
Still third down and long, but now it's 7 to go. White under pressure. He's going to have to take off and see if he can ad-lib this himself. He can maybe get to the end zone. He does. Touchdown, Tigers.
Brady White, not a great runner, but he's an excellent scrambler, if you know what I'm saying. He's got good pocket feel. He was able to get out, break a couple of arm tackles, some hand grabs, and get his way into the end zone. Big play.
It's third down and 12, and the offsides, really 2 offsides penalties against UCF aided Memphis in this touchdown drive, and the Tigers retake the lead.
And they converted on a couple of 4th downs, too, which really made it happen for him. But here's Brady White showing you the magic. You know what? Mackenzie Milton can run, so can White.
Brady White rushes for the first time into the end zone in his short college career, as a starter anyway. And the Tigers retake the lead here, 10-7. They emptied several formations, the likes of which we've never hardly ever seen before, and we're in the first quarter.
Yeah, they've got a pair of 11-play drives, one for the field goal and that last one for a touchdown.
And coming off that touchback, let's take a look at our Dell Technologies playbook at a critical play in this drive.
Yeah, and this is the old fake freeze where everyone's going to look over to the sideline because the quarterback, Brady White, does so. So watch all those eyeballs all looking over there, and they catch him sleeping, and they shoot it to Henderson, and then that leads to this touchdown run by Brady White. Good play calling, creative stuff by Mike Norvell and Coach Dillingham, his offensive coordinator upstairs.
Henderson has now 999 yards on the season. Now can UCF counterpunch? They give it to Anderson, and he's going to be driven out of bounds. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play.
You can feel the energy in this place right now, Dave. That touchdown got this crowd jacked up, and Memphis is feeding off of it. They're pretty good here at home.
12 in a row in the Liberty Bowl they have won. Milton. 3-man rush causes some pressure, and he's sacked again.
It's the same guy that got him the first time, John Tate. Tate's having himself a ball game thus far.
There had only been 2 sacks allowed all season. Today they've had 2 sacks against them.
All right, Tate did a nice swim move over the top of Tyler Hudanik and got home.
Now Milton comes out firing. It's going to be caught out in the flat. He had a long way to go on 3rd down. This will be way short of the 1st down, and UCF will most likely have to punt. But in this game, I expect anything.
Yeah. I agree with you. We've seen some wild stuff already. I mean, I don't see a flag on the field, but I do see a couple of officials communicating here in close quarters.
Sideline interference against UCF. Official made contact with the coach. Penalty is half the distance to the goal from the dead ball spot. The down counts. 4th down.
They've gotten a lot tougher, Ray, in keeping coaches off the field, and when they do, they get penalized for it.
Yeah, and you see the official on the ground up top. He threw his flag before he got himself back upright. If he runs into somebody on the sideline, that's an automatic penalty. His territory is that white stripe along each sideline, and he's got to be free to run that and keep his eyes on the field. Otherwise, it's too dangerous.
And it doesn't matter about intent either.
No.
There's no, and I'm sure there was no intent. It's just an accident. It happens, but it's going to cost you, and that's something they've emphasized in the last couple of years. Now that's going to force Loudermilk to stand in his end zone, and now we have whistles here. We may have a timing issue. Side judge was looking at his watch.
The clock did not start properly. Please reset the game clock to 2:31. 2:31 on the game clock.
They keep the official time on the field, and that's one of the side judge's responsibilities. And so he makes sure that the clock operator has everything the way it needs to be, and that's what they did.
A lot of spin on this punt. Fair catch, Williams, 39-yard line. Good field position for the Memphis Tigers. 48 yards. We're going to take 60. Get ready to see what Memphis can do. Well, coming up, 7:30 Eastern on ABC, Saturday Night Football, presented by Wells Fargo. Features a Big Ten battle in the Big Houses. Number 15, Wisconsin, will take on 12th-ranked Michigan. It's also available live, of course, on the ESPN app, so you can watch it anywhere. Wisconsin looking good on the West at 4-1, and Michigan, after that opening loss, Ray, they have been tough.
They showed me something when they came back, set down 17-0 against Northwestern to pull that game out. And I was also surprised Coach Corso put on the Bucky Badger hat today in Ann Arbor, no less.
White, quick throw. This is Pollard. Little hesitation, breaks a tackle, and almost broke another one. That was nearly a big play, and now a very late flag comes in after the 8-yard pickup by Tony Pollard.
Holding. Offense, number 56. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
That's the left guard, Dylan Parham, a redshirt freshman from Carrollton, Georgia. So that's going to negate a nice gain by Tony Pollard.
Yeah, and that hold was well down the field. You don't see very many holdings by the big guys downfield very often, but they got him on that one.
1st down and 12. Henderson. And that time, the first hit, Clark really slowed him down, and he was finished off by Gilliard.
Brady White has come out. He's 4 of 9 throwing the football, but the decisions he's made and then his ability to run, he makes something happen with that. He's been good so far today.
Going to go onto the ground here. Henderson. It's going to be 3rd down and long coming up. Let's check in for a little bit more about Brady White with Alex Cordry.
Well, Dave, following their scoring drive and after celebrating the touchdown, the receivers were teasing Brady White. They were looking at him and giving him grief about him showing off his wheels since that was his first career rushing touchdown. But White was all smiles. He was laughing right there with them. The coaches told us that White is feeling as comfortable as ever leading this offense.
Well, he's done a nice job in these 3rd and long situations. He's got another one here, and White on the run, fires. It's right at the mark on the 1st down and more. Pop Williams will take it into UCF territory at the 45-yard line, a gain of 13.
And White showing me something with the feet, extending the play, and then he's pointing to Williams, telling him where he needs him to go, and they got it executed. That's a great pickup on a 3rd and long.
Under 45 seconds, Memphis 4 out of 6 on 3rd down. They haven't been 3rd and 1 or 2 either. Henderson, look out here. Henderson, 10 yards and more. Henderson, that's a touchdown saving tackle by Aaron Robinson, the former Crimson Tide, after 20 yards.
There he goes. This is just a zone sweep where everyone's going to try to work to the outside edge of their man, and they let Henderson take it and him pick a hole. And he found one, and then he makes a guy miss in the secondary again.
Henderson now over 1,000 yards for the season. 90 yards today.
Pollard in the backfield right here.
3 seconds to 1. They get it off just as the quarter was about to end. Henderson to the 5. Touchdown, Tigers! If you hadn't heard of Darrell Henderson before today, don't forget the name.
It'll be hard to. He's been amazing thus far.
115 yards in the opening quarter on 12 carries and the touchdown.
He got a big assist from his fellow running back, Tony Pollard, who usually when Pollard gets in the backfield, here he is right here. Watch him come off the edge and get a nice block to lead this play. When Pollard's back there, he's supposed to run. He got himself a block, and it opened up for Henderson to take it to the house.
College football will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
The ESPN app now with ESPN Plus. Get more ESPN and download now.
An explosive start for Memphis. See Henderson over there, number 8, redid himself in the offseason. He changed his body, changed his eating habits. He actually had to give up his mother's strawberry shortcake, which I cannot imagine how difficult that was. But this retooled Henderson has become maybe the best running back in the country, certainly at the moment. Opportunity here now for UCF. And Killens, look out here. He's got great speed. Killens will be chased out of bounds. I think that was the kicker, Riley Patterson, who ran him out. Let's check in for the studio. First visit today with Cassidy Hubbarth. All right, Cassidy, thank you very much. That's one certainly worth keeping an eye on. Look forward to hearing from you throughout the day. Excellent field position, best so far for Mackenzie Milton. Ray, he has not formally rushed the ball yet.
No, he's been sacked twice. He's got 2 carries for -16. I imagine they're going to open that part of the offense up here.
He'll come out firing here. A short pass caught by number 13, Gabriel Davis. He's tackled by several Tigers, but that's going to be a solid 7-yard pickup to the 44.
And this is some adversity that the Knights have faced, and we talked to Coach Heupel about adversity. He said they've tried to manufacture some, they've discussed it, they feel like they've faced some of it. They have never been down 10 here early in the second quarter yet this year.
This is Killens. No gain on the play. Joseph Dorsey has got him up top.
Austin Hall got him down low, and Hall is a versatile player for this Memphis defense. He'll play outside linebacker, safety off the ball. He'll play the alley.
3rd and 3.
And he'll blitz.
Got him short. All right, what do you do here, Ray? It's 4th down and about 2.5.
They're going to go for it. There's no doubt in my mind. You're in plus territory. You need to do something to thwart the momentum of this Memphis crowd and team right now.
This might be the time for Mackenzie Milton to carry the football here.
I'd put him on, get him on the edge with a little run pass option type of play is what I would look for.
We have whistles.
Timeout. Memphis, their first.
And Memphis
30 seconds.
called the timeout. So 4th down and 2, UCF. Memphis called the timeout, so you had to wonder if their defensive coordinator, Chris Ball, smelled a rat.
That's what I think. I mean, they pulled the plug late on that thing, and they were set up in a blitz. Now it looks like they're playing more of a softer deal. We'll see what they end up doing.
Fakes to Killens. Milton. Pass is tipped. Deflected by Bryce Huff. Memphis holds.
Oh, and they had the receiver wide open. Big play by Huff. Watch the receiver number 2, Otis Anderson. He's wide open in the flat. If Huff does not get his hands on that thing, that's going to be more than a first down, I think. And Chris Ball, the defensive coordinator, says, that's how I drew it up right there. Huge play by Huff.
Well, Huff diagnosed that beautifully. He hesitated, then he realized what he was the guy that had to make the play, and he did. So now Memphis takes over on downs at their own 44-yard line.
That's a rare batted pass for Mackenzie Milton. Usually he finds a way to get around those big arms.
This is Taylor. And Taylor will get outside, almost to the 48-yard line, outside the 45. About a 3-yard pickup there.
Well, this is about the best 1-2 running back punch that you can get. These two guys are unbelievable. Then you throw Tony Pollard into that backfield, and you got a nice mix going. Here's that bizarre formation again, just not letting UCF get ahead of the down and identify where people are and make their defensive checks.
That's Pollard. That's how they like to use him, but UCF knows that. If I know it, UCF knows it. And that's a good tackle made there after a very short gain. Don't forget about 7:30 tonight here on ABC, Saturday Night Football. Wells Fargo presenting it, and that Big Ten matchup right there. Shea Patterson coming on strong for Michigan, but it is Wisconsin. That's a solid team. Should be fun.
Going to be an old-fashioned Big Ten physical battle is what I anticipate.
4 out of 6 on 3rd downs for the Tigers.
Blitz.
White got his man. That's a chain mover. 1st down, but there is a penalty marker down at the 44.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Defense under 6. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
That is a trendy penalty this year, Ray. The defensive hands to the face.
Yeah, and it's easy to happen to you. You get your hands on a guy and they slide up. Next thing you know, they're up in the grill, and Hayes is at the top of the screen. And you can just see it off to the right a little bit, and sure enough, he had his hand up in the face mask.
Let's move the football all the way to the Knights' 30-yard line. And another carry for Taylor, who thought he could have gotten more than the 6 he did. We did see, Ray, when we came back from break, Darrell Henderson had looked like a heating pad or a big towel on his right leg. So that's something to keep an eye out for. White going for it all right here at It's well overthrown, trying to go to Coxey, and he was one-on-one with Brandon Moore, so it's going to be 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, and they'd like to see White throw that ball so that Coxey can go up and get it. I mean, he's their 50-50 guy. They like to throw the ball up, and they believe he's more like a 70-30 deal when he gets a chance to go up and get the football. That one just sailed a little wide and high from Brady White.
There goes Pollard. And there goes 5 yards backwards.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Travion Tate guilty of going a little early on that one, and that changes things for this Memphis offense because you were at 3rd and 3. It's a whole different play menu when you turn that thing into a 3rd and 8.
White. That's incomplete. 4th down and 8.
I've seen White go on streaks, both good and bad, throwing the football. This is the bad one. He's overthrown Coxey on a couple of fade routes in this drive alone.
So it'll bring out Riley Patterson, who converted from 43 already. This would be about 45 for Patterson. This would be his longest of the season. He's 5 out of 7 this year.
He missed a couple in that championship game last year, and it really weighed heavily on his mind. And he got a lot of support from people around here.
He's going to get some more support. He is 2 for 2 today, and Memphis extends their lead to 20-7, but a long way to go in this quarter.
College football, presented by Walmart on ABC, is brought to you by Pacific Life. Experience the power of Pacific. And the well-connected 2019 MKC.
And there you see the longest winning streaks in this century, by the way. Now, we're not going all the way back, and that led to this with the UCF with 18 in a row and 13-0 last year. Well, we'll see if they're going to leave Memphis 18-1. We got a long way to go with this. But then in the offseason, the Coley Matrix said they were national champs, so that gave more validity to what I thought, by the way, is one of the most brilliant marketing campaigns ever.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I loved it when they made that claim, and why not? I mean, Auburn beat Alabama last year, so you do the football math, and UCF beat Auburn, so
Going to get a fair catch on the kickoff, so the Knights will take over at the 25-yard line. So
number 88 called for and completed a fair catch. By rule, the ball is placed at the 25-yard line. 1st down.
What's the recipe here to get this UCF offense going at the level we are used to seeing it at?
I think they need to get back to the tempo stuff and try to get this defense back on the heels. They had a successful drive early on, and that's how they did it, with that tempo.
Please reset the game clock to 10:57. 10:57 on the game clock.
And the other part of that would be have Milton carry the football. So far he has not, and that's a huge part of their offense.
Yeah, they haven't hit on any 3rd downs yet. They came in number 2 in the country at 59%. And they missed on a 4th down as well. Milton's going to keep it here, was looking deep, slings it underneath, has his man. That's Davis. He could go. Davis, he will go. Touchdown, Knights. 75 yards.
Yeah, or they could just throw it to Davis. That would work. Get him back into it. Amazing play, and it goes back to Mackenzie Milton and his ability to manipulate a defense, use his eyes. This is an RPO where he's going to actually, that looks like play action to me. I think that was pass all the way. They felt like they had something on that inside breaking route, and they did. Lindsey couldn't make the play, and Davis goes to the house, and all of a sudden things are looking a little brighter for the Knights.
You can hardly do a drive any quicker than 13 seconds.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Get our second look, I should say, at Matthew Wright on for the PAT. He's the all-time leader in that category in UCF and has scored 311 points in a very distinguished career in Orlando. Low snap, but it's handled. Make that 312 points for Matthew Wright. And for Mackenzie Milton, now 20 consecutive games with a touchdown pass, and that's a big one. It slows down the Memphis train. Well, that's interesting. Pitt ran a punt back against UCF this year, so it looks like Pat Narduzzi's got some explosive players on special teams. There'll be a touchback coming up. So the big mystery on that last drive, we didn't see Darrell Henderson. We see him on a bike.
And see a heating pad on his right quad. We'll see if we see him come back into this game. I think you said they're going to need him, and he is going back out onto the field.
Good 15 yards, dude. I mean, 12 carries and a touchdown.
He's been dominant.
You have to have him out there if you're Memphis, and you're going to pull the upset here. He's going to get the carry here and no gain, maybe even a loss of a yard or two. Randy Charlton, number 58, only a freshman out of South Ridge High in Miami, and they're on the stop. In fact, that's almost a full yard loss.
Yeah, Charlton is an impressive young player who they think has a huge future, and he's playing more and more as this season goes on.
White, throw right into the middle of the field. A good catch made there by Kadarian Jones, and Jones will move the chains. First down to the 36-yard line.
Brady White could throw some RPOs too. That was a perfect read. He saw the defense collapse towards the box, pulled the football, and nailed the slant.
White also has a touchdown run for the Tigers. This is Henderson. He got a head of steam going, but great job by UCF defensively to slow the play down. Fans here
they want a face mask.
Yeah.
I thought I wanted one for half a second as well as Aaron Cochran makes the play.
It's a 3-yard pickup. And as they show it on the big scoreboard of the Liberty Bowl, the entire stadium saw something they didn't like, except, of course, for the UCF faithful who are here.
I think they missed one on that.
White, that is going to be a run-pass option as he slings it down the field. The catch is made and a whole lot more for Coxie. 25 and down about the 22-yard line. DeMonte Coxie out of reserve Louisiana. Brought down by Brandon Moore after a big gain.
This is an amazing throw. Watch Brady White. He's rolling to his right. He fooled everybody. And then he throws back. He rolls to his left and throws back to his right. That's hard to do. Great play. He's looking Mackenzie Milton-ish.
Another short gain there to the 20-yard line for Darrell Henderson. Well, Memphis hasn't been stopped yet. They have had 4 possessions. They have scored 4 times, 2 field goals, 2 TDs.
And they're rolling nice down the field. This offense is clicking right now. And when they played well, they played really well. But they've had a couple of bad second halves in both of their losses, Dave, where nothing was going right. Seems like they got the ship back righted last week, and they picked it up and continued it here today.
Straight handoff, Henderson. Wiggled between a couple of tacklers, but UCF was waiting for him on the other side of that. Another short gain in there. Richie Grant, leading tackler for the Knights. Number 27 in there on the stop. Now you've got another 3rd down and 6, but remarkably, Ray, Memphis has thrived in these situations on 3rd and what they call medium or long. They've hit them.
Yeah, they've been really good. 5 of 8 converting 3rd downs, and most of them have been more than 5 yards.
Potential here. 3-1. White for the end zone. It's underthrown. It's intercepted by Brandon Moore, but
yeah, that's a free play. I mean, they jumped up. They got him to jump for the 3rd time.
Defense number 6, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's 2 thus far on Brendan Hayes. The other one was Nate Evans on a blitz coming off the edge. So the discipline up front for this UCF defensive line is lacking here early on. You got to watch the football. It's as old as the game itself.
5 penalties, 3 of them offsides. Henderson's going to get the first down.
Ran into Eric Mitchell, but not until they moved those chains. That's a big pickup, and the penalty really hurt the Knights.
Mike Norvell, 22 wins already. That's the best start for a Memphis coach in a long, long time.
He brought some offense with him. There's a new wrinkle.
Yeah, there goes White out to the top of your screen, and that forces the defender to cover him. Direct snap. And a direct hit. Maybe a yard as Eric Mitchell came up from his linebacker position, number 12 there, and White with a solid hit.
And Mitchell came around the edge. I mean, that's a linebacker's dream. You just go meet the man in the hole. Nobody got a hand on him. You got to make those plays, and he did with authority. This is a great down for a play action pass.
No play action, but a pass, and White's going to scramble instead, and he'll leap forward to just inside the 10-yard line. Smart play, because if he doesn't, he's going to get hit. So here you go with another third and long, this time third and about 8.
This is where Memphis has been on top of things so far. See, they're doing some razzle-dazzle. They've got an offensive lineman lined up out here at receiver.
Look at that formation. That's Trevin Tate.
Nobody's covering him either.
Yeah, Trayvon Tate. Well, he's in the pattern. They play off the block, and it's going to be short of the first down with Pollard on the catch. Well, Tate was open. I'll say that right.
He was. He was ready for the quick screen. He wanted the ball.
All right, you're fourth and about 3 here.
Kick it. I think you get your points when you can. No sense in giving UCF a break or a momentum surge by making a big stop on a 4th down. Just go get your points and keep rolling.
And that's the plan for Mike Norvell. Riley Patterson's 2 for 2 today. This will be the shortest attempt he's had. 22 yards. Preston Brady, the holder. And Patterson is 3 for 3. Memphis is 5 for 5 today when they've had the football and putting points on the board. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary.
It starts out with Henderson, who was electric, over 100 yards in the first quarter alone, making all kinds of people miss at the second level. And he got her done, got into the end zone himself. And then Mackenzie Milton, not to be outdone, what was it, a 12-second drive? They come back down 20-7. They answer, and now it's 23-13. But Milton is just getting warmed up, it looks to me.
But we still haven't seen his legs in action in the run game, either on called runs or scrambles, and that's been very surprising. Anytime you look at a UCF game and getting ready for this one, you just know he's going to run the football. He's had games with multiple rushing touchdowns and passing touchdowns, but as of now, with 5:09 to go in this half, we have not seen that part of him. We've seen Brady White run the ball more.
Effectively. But Milton, they like him in the red zone running the football as much as anything. He'll scramble from anywhere, obviously, but they haven't been down there but one time.
I wonder if all these field goals
can catch up to you.
Yeah. You might need more against a team as good as UCF. You're going to get Killens with the kick return, and he's going to be held a short one to about the 23-yard line. So we'll see Milton, the junior from Hawaii, out there.
One thing they told us about Milton is that he's a cool customer, even keel. In fact, when Josh Heupel first met him, he didn't know what quite to expect. He said, this guy was laid back. He said, I expected, more of an intense personality. He said, no, but he is an intense competitor. And that's what Coach Heupel really liked. And he sat down with Mackenzie right away to get on the same page with him, and he told him he can help him get to that next level, and Milton bought into it.
And a sidearm sling there. Catch made by Trey Nixon. Very fast receiver. UCF's got some great team speed.
You mentioned that sidearm, Dave. He has all kinds of different launch points. Reminds me of Matt Stafford with the Lions in the NFL.
Now Milton's going to run the football, and hunting and pecking his way, and the swamp donkey got him. Jonathan Wilson, number 38. A player after your heart rate. We can show you the inside of that face. Look at that face paint.
Yeah, he and does it the right way. And you know what? You can put face paint on and all that, but if you ain't making plays, nobody cares. But he's making plays.
It just didn't look like UCF was going to snap. There you go. That looks like tiger stripes.
I believe it is.
There.
Claw marks.
0 for 3, third downs, UCF.
Big play for him here.
Timeout going to be taken by Memphis.
Timeout. Memphis, their second.
Second defensive timeout taken by the Tigers.
And this Memphis defense has been outstanding today as well, and it started up front. Big John Tate gets his first of 2 sacks. There's number 2 right there, putting the pressure on Mackenzie Milton. And then Milton got whacked by Wilson on that last play. And this was a huge stop on a 4th down. Huff with a batted pass. This Memphis defense, they're doing their job.
Milton's got a pocket, fires, and it's incomplete. He hit the receiver right in the hands. That was Nixon, who could not hang on. 0 out of 4 on 3rd down, and UCF will bring out Loudermilk again.
Yeah, and Trey Nixon, watch him. He's going to stumble out of his break a little bit. Right there, when he tries to lean forward for the ball, I think it got him off balance a little bit, and you got to catch that one, but I can see what happened to him. He just got his feet caught underneath him a little bit.
Left-footed, and Loudermilk roots this one. Williams trying to make one man miss. He did. Williams found a little gap there. Williams 30. And, ooh, man, there was a big hit in there.
Pop got popped. And they have exciting athletes on this Memphis team, and in particular their return man. And Pop Williams makes the first man miss. Now he thinks he's got something. He's cruising up the sidelines, and hello, it ended very quickly.
But productively, he got 15 yards out of that once he made that first man miss. So good field position for the Tigers at their own 34-yard line. Again, they have not punted once in this game, and we're under 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. Henderson. And a short gain there. They bottled him up the last couple of times he's carried it. Eric Gilliard, a freshman from Jacksonville, on the stop. 2nd and 8 coming up.
And this is good for Memphis in terms of trying to wear out this UCF defense. Right now, Memphis has held the ball for over 17 minutes in this ball game, and vice versa. It's only 8+ on the other side. That UCF defense has been out there a long time here early on. Let's see if it affects them down the road.
You saw Henderson's average today at 6.7. His average coming into the game, 11.8.
That's insane.
They're trying to add that right here. Plays off the block. There you see that burst. He'll end doing all right. Henderson, 33-yard line, and a saving tackle by Rashard Causey. And another big gain for Henderson.
You get 2 guards pulling out to lead the way, and they both get their blocks. That allows Henderson access to the edge. And then, as we've said, once he gets into that second level, all bets are off. He could go to the house anytime.
I guess his thigh is feeling better. Now up to 158 yards, and he put another yard up on his per carry average. Wow, that guy, anytime he touches the ball.
His acceleration through the hole is unparalleled.
Gonna get another crack at it. And here you saw a great example of what you were just talking about right there, Ray. He accelerated to the 19.
And when guys come up to get him, they take a bad angle because they don't realize how fast he is. Watch the safety come up after he follows these guards. There he is, boom, taking the shot. Right there is Kyle Gibson, who's a solid tackler, but his angle was off just because he don't believe Henderson is that fast.
Gained 14 that time. 2 plays ago, they were buried back in their own end, and not anymore. He's got 172 now on 21 carries.
Incredible weapon. He had 214 against Navy, he had 236 against Georgia State, and 174 against UConn.
Now Pollard, and he'll breeze in. Touchdown, Tigers. They have scored on all 5 of their drives.
And it's just a simple cross-buck action in the backfield, but the blocking was outstanding as Parham got his guy totally pushed out of the picture. And you can see that the fact that this UCF defense has been out there all afternoon, they're wearing out a little bit, it looks to me. I know they rotate 8 defensive linemen through there and to keep guys fresh, but right now they're getting steamrolled.
We thought there would be offense from both sides, but we're also getting a little bit of defense from Memphis. And at the moment, they are leading the number 10 team in the country, owners of an 18-game win streak, by 16 with 2 minutes to go and 4 seconds. Well, those of you who have the ESPN app who may have just tuned in, maybe you saw this score on the app and you go, I think I better keep an eye on this one, because this UCF team is one of the best in the nation, ranked number 10, and at the moment they can't stop Memphis from getting either in the end zone or putting in 3 points in between the goalposts. Let's see, however, how quickly UCF can counter, because if anybody can do it, this group can. They'll start at the 25-yard line. You know, you can stream live college football all season long on ESPN Plus. You can start your free trial today by downloading the ESPN app or visiting ESPNplus.com. And excited to tell you all about what's coming up in 2020. ESPN and ESPN Plus with exclusive coverage of the first and second rounds of the PGA Championship beginning in 2020. And for the third and final rounds, ESPN and ESPN Plus will have hours of live coverage throughout the morning. And Plus will continue with featured groups and featured hold coverage in the afternoon.
And that's exclusive. That's the only place you can watch that stuff. You got to get it.
Killings running wide. Very little gear. Aikens number 7, but he had some help. Wilson, I think, was in there as well. And there's a flag down.
That came in late.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Offense number 77. After this is to the goal. The down counts. Second down.
That's Jake Brown, the right tackle.
Yeah, and because it was a post-play foul, and here he is right here, the big fella, and you can see some of the frustration now starting to set in, and then just trying to get a cheap little lick at the end, and he hit Jonathan Wilson. And you just can't do that. I mean, that's one of the plays that they're trying to eliminate from football, those blindside hits, just to make the game safer.
So it is first and extraordinarily long. McCray is into the tailback. He'll get to the 16.
Wilson with another play. He said, you can go ahead and cheap shot me, but I'm going to come back and make a legal play on you and do some work. And that's what he's done. And I love the attitude of this Memphis team coming in here. You know, they talked a lot this week, Dave, about revenge, and they owe these guys and that stuff. It's one thing to talk, but then they come out and play with that kind of fire and intensity. That's what they've done so far.
So make it third down and 19. UCF with just 31 yards on the ground in 14 attempts.
Throwing a blanket over him.
Timeout. This one's going to come from Josh Heupel.
Timeout. UCF, their first. 30 seconds.
They were down to 2 seconds on the play clock. Now the snap was executed before zeros, but Josh Heupel called the timeout about the same time as the snap. So UCF has 2 timeouts remaining, and Memphis has just 1. What is, Ray, your time's running out. This has been a very difficult first half of your team. You're facing a very difficult situation on 3rd and 19 with 48 seconds to go. What would you consider a good call here offensively?
Quick kick? I don't know. You know,
in other words, my question is, are you going to go ahead and try to get go long here and try to get something?
I am. I'm going to probably, you know, the touchdown throw that they hit with Gabe Davis on that little slant route. I might try to go back to something like that if I get the coverage I like, if I get the safety back and that creates that hole. And that's what they have. They have that opportunity right now if they can go ahead and get it in there. But it's a tough call.
Milton. He's got plenty of time. Now he escapes Wilson. Look out here. Throws, and he has it. Mackenzie Milton makes it happen. The catch made by Otis Anderson to the 40-yard line. It's first down for UCF.
And that's the scramble drill, and they are so good at that. And then they follow it up, and they go to tempo right away.
We have 2 timeouts. Milton, plenty of time. Second down coming up. 26 seconds remain.
Well, he almost pulled the trigger. He had Trey Nixon breaking across the middle, but somebody flashed in front of him. He had to pull it back down. But he is so exciting extending plays with his feet. They're as good a scramble team as I've seen on film all year. And the large reason for that is Milton's ability to avoid people and keep it alive, and then he keeps his eyes down the field. He just got a false start.
False start.
False start. Offense, number 53. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That penalty has been a significant problem for UCF in this first half. That is 7 for 61 yards.
And with such little time left, that one can be a backbreaker.
A good pocket there for Milton to throw into, and he just lasers one in there for another first down for UCF. A catch there by Trey Nixon. 19 seconds remaining.
See if they dial the play up or just throw it on the ground. No, they're going for it.
They still have those timeouts. Milton. Oh, yes, he caught it. Dredrick Snelson's first catch of the day is a spectacular one.
And when Milton misses, it's usually high, and that's because when he throws the football, he kind of brings that elbow down low underneath to get the launch.
Timeout. UCF.
They have one timeout remaining. 9 seconds to go.
Milton again is able to make this play, and the Memphis defense, you can see they're still looking around for where they're supposed to be, a little bit out of position. But how about that concentration? Snelson goes up, gets the hands on it, and follows it with his eyes. I mean, that's outstanding.
Well, at the bare minimum, they've given themselves a shot at bringing up Matthew Wright for 3 points, and to try to cut into this Memphis lead.
Gain a little momentum heading into halftime. They've been drubbed pretty much, particularly their defense has shut down well, I should say Memphis has run it all over them, and then they've shut down this offense.
They've done a nice job protecting Milton on the last couple of passes. Has the Knights line. Will he go to the end zone here?
And you're getting just 3-man rush, so they should be able to. Problem is, the longer that play lasts, the harder it is to cover.
But you don't have a lot of time now. Milton is going to go for the end zone. Man, there it's broken up. Davis was the intended receiver, and Tito Wyndham, the senior, came in to break it up. 3 seconds remaining, and now the field goal team comes out.
Milton was a little bit late with this throw, and it allowed the defender to find it to catch up, because Davis, he had about a 5-yard cushion in getting behind the defense, but Wyndham recovered nicely.
Matthew Wright, long of the season, 45. This one, 44. He's only made 4 field goals. He's only had 4 attempts. Bit of a high snap. This one is Drew. Oh, and Dorn. But wait, did I hear whistles?
Yeah, the whistle blew before the snap.
Prior to the snap, timeout. Memphis, their third and final. 30 seconds. Please reset the game clock to 3 seconds.
The freeze, they tried to freeze the kicker at the end just before the snap, and they got it. And unfortunately for them, the kick was missed. That's when you roll the dice on that deal. And
look at Mike Norvell.
He's laughing about it. He said, oh, well, we tried.
Yeah.
And that's all you can do.
Hey, you never know what's going to happen again.
I don't think it's a horrible call or thing to do. It just is ironic.
But Wright is an extremely experienced kicker. He's a redshirt senior. Over 300 points in a great career, so
yeah, he's chomping at the bit for a second shot at this.
And he drilled it.
Main Street.
That's the end of the second quarter.
The last time UCF trailed at halftime in a game, it was against Memphis in the American Championship game. And they trail by 13. Memphis will get the ball to start the third quarter. The halftime report is coming up after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Well, here it is, 2018 going on 2019. You know, so much of the music we hear today is electronically produced and programmed. You never get a chance to hear master musicians practice their craft anymore. By the year 2050, the sound of living, breathing musicians will exist only in the classical records department at your local public library. So this afternoon, Tiger fans, while we still can, let us welcome from Memphis, Tennessee, the University of Memphis Marching Band, the mighty Sound of the South. From the superstar born in Memphis, Tennessee, this is Aretha Franklin's Think.
You are watching the American Conference on ESPN. Third quarter about to begin, and a game that's getting some national notice, I would think, with number 10, UCF, in trouble. First time they have trailed at halftime of a game this season, and they are losing 30-17 to the Memphis Tigers. UCF has had just one lead in this game. Along with Alex Cordery and Ray Bentley, I'm Dave Lamont, and we're glad you could join us here for what we think is going to be an exciting second half. Darrell Henderson has just been utterly spectacular for Memphis at running back, doing what he's done all season long.
He's amazing. To watch him and see what he does. His speed, they don't calculate it properly. He's so fast, and when he makes that cut, everyone's taking bad angles. UCF missed 14 tackles in that first half unofficially. Most of them were on Henderson.
That is our Wrangler player spotlight. 111 yards after contact, and it's begun to rain here as expected. And we'll get a kick return here from a couple of yards back in the end zone. Pollard is a spectacular returner, and he gets out to just shy of the 30-yard line. And getting rained on right now is Alex Cordry.
That is right, Dave. It's finally coming, the rain. We're talking to head coach Josh Heupel. He says his offense has not found its rhythm, and that's because they need to get the run game going. On the other side, have to find ways to limit Darrell Henderson. He said he also wants to get Memphis into some third and long situations.
Well, they've been in some of those, and they've converted. Memphis has done a spectacular job on third downs.
I think Coach Heupel's exactly right about getting the running game going. That'll open things up.
Well, the running game has been going for Henderson as he drags a defender for an 11-yard gain, a little more yards after contact for Henderson, who had 4 plays of 20-plus yards in the first half.
He has been fun to watch, Dave. I mean, this has been a clinic put on by Henderson. And I look at him, he does all the little things right. The way he holds the football, for example, it's always high and tight. He's got all the points of pressure. He's not going to lose that thing. And then the cuts and the vision that he has to go with the speed through the hole makes a huge, huge impact.
Maybe no gain on that one. He has 183 yards already in this game and a touchdown. I mean, he came in as the nation's leading rusher. He's over 1,000 yards already this season.
Getting some help from them big fellas up front, too. We've seen some outstanding blocking. Guys have been just doing their jobs and knowing that Henderson's behind him, and pretty soon he's going to be in front of him.
Staying on the ground is Memphis, and why not Pollard? Fighting for additional yardage. He got into a wrestling match with Nate Evans, number 44, but he's going to pick up a solid 5 there. So they have to get to just shy of the UCF 49-yard line to keep the drive alive.
And they are slowing things down, and they understand where they're at and what the situation is. And then the rain kind of plays into it, too. Rain has not been good to Memphis, and both of their losses, they dealt with rain, both at Navy and Tulane. And this rain might be a benefactor for them.
In the face of pressure, Pollard, he won't get there. Excellent job by the Knights defensively. And for the first time today, we're going to get a punt from Memphis unless they go for it here, and they will not.
No, I can't imagine going for it. And this pass was just a little bit behind Pollard, and he had to turn his body the opposite way, and I think that cost him having enough time to make a move once he had caught the football.
Otis Anderson's an excellent punt returner for UCF. Adam Williams, who has had 1 block this year, standing at his 33. Not much of a rush. That's a nice kick. Gonna land in the end zone. 52 yards on the punt. First one from Williams today. Memphis had been 6 for 6 in scoring opportunities. So here is Mackenzie Milton, who's now gone 20 consecutive games with a touchdown pass. 75-yard touchdown pass to Gabriel Davis. The interesting thing is, Ray, we really haven't seen Milton the runner yet.
No, we have not. And their offense has been disjointed. And I think the biggest part of that is their inability to run the football, giving them opportunities, second and shorts, where they can open things up a little bit.
They go on the ground here. Right up the middle is Adrian Killens. That's 170 pounds or so of running back going right in the gut. Gain there of about 3, 2nd and 7 coming up.
Here comes that tempo.
And he got it up in about 10 seconds after the play was declared dead. And a sharp throw by Milton and a great catch by Snelson. First down, UCF at the 35-yard line. And here they come again quickly to the line.
And this was all about Mackenzie Milton drilling it. I mean, he threw that into a small little window. Another one.
Yep, Davis. If he had turned around and fallen down, he might have had a first down, but he's going to be a yard short. Second down in the yard coming up.
And I think the tempo, the high tempo part of this offense was missing a little bit there in the first half as well, and they're trying to crank it up here.
And they do crank it up here with Killens making a few defenders miss and a first down to the Memphis 40-yard line.
And that's what happens in tempo. You get them on their heels, and all of a sudden the guy's just a little step out of place, and you got a better blocking angle. You pop a big hole, and you move the chains.
Milton, little play action fake, going to take a shot, going for it all the way, and he missed his man. Trying to get it to Trey Nixon, who was well covered. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
And this was uncharacteristic.
Injury timeout.
We have a Memphis player shaken up.
Looks like O'Brien Goodson.
Yeah, and Goodson missed the game against Tulane a couple of weeks ago, injured. He just can't come back the week before against Connecticut.
And he's a huge part of this defense. You don't hear his name called a ton, but what he's doing is occupying a couple of blockers every play, opening things up for other people to come make the tackle. They got him up. One thing that did do was derail or slow down anyway this night drive, as they're frenetic here coming out in the second half. We talked a little bit early in this game about them facing adversity, and they've had a few spells here and there, but they haven't faced anything quite like this, a 13-point deficit in the third quarter.
McGowan is the tailback now, number 4, Taj McGowan. Milton has a nice pocket. That throw didn't look right.
Yeah, I don't know if it slipped or got tipped or what, but it came out of his hand awkwardly.
3rd and 10.
Here they go again.
They're way off on their 3rd down conversion pace, however.
Now they'll do the check with me, and the thing that this does is it allows Memphis to do some changes as well, and this is where they said they would crank up some blitzes.
Milton sacked again. 3rd time today. This time it's Joseph Dorcius who comes through with a big sack. Again, UCF had only allowed 2 sacks all season. This is the 3rd today.
And I'll just go ahead and let it run. But he came off the edge, the top edge, and it's a blown protection by this offensive line for UCF. Nobody touched Dorcius. He came free off the edge.
John Tate had the other 2 sacks. Loudermilk now will have to try to drop this in the bucket. And Pop Williams makes a catch with a player right in his face at the 12-yard line. All right, this season for every field goal, an extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, Allstate. First and 10 for the Tigers after the punt at their own 12. We had a surprising exchange of punts to start our second half. Quick handoff, Henderson. Patience, but they're waiting for him that time. It's nothing there. Let's check in with the studio and a visit with Cassidy Hubbarth. All right, thank you very much. Yeah, the top 10, things have gotten very interesting in there today with Georgia in trouble, UCF trailing here.
Every year you get one of those weekends where the apple cart gets upset. This might be it.
Henderson again, and they're just waiting on him that time. There was nothing available. Titus Davis slammed it shut. It'll be 3rd down and long coming up. Don't forget tonight at 7:30 on ABC. It's Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo. Michigan, Wisconsin. Now it's available live on the ESPN app so you can watch anywhere. Michigan, if they win, Wisconsin, if they win, would be a beneficiary if the top 10 gets shaken up today. Brady White firing Henderson, and he will be short of the first down by 3 yards.
Clark makes a big tackle to stop him short of that yard to gain and force this punt, a 3 and out, and the UCF defense has done their part.
Well, Memphis started 6 out of 9 on 3rd downs. They've missed on their last 3. And again, you got a dangerous guy here in Otis Anderson returning, and he's standing at his own 40-yard line. They're taking everything off the clock right now as much as they can. Williams roots this. And it's going to be picked up by Anderson. It bounced right into him at the 35-yard line. So good field position for UCF. We'll be back in 15 seconds. So this is the second time UCF will get the football. Memphis has punted their first 2 possessions with 8.5 minutes to go in this third quarter. We've had no change to our score at the half. Anderson motions out. Will they throw to him? They do. And he can't handle it. And it's an incomplete pass. It was not a lateral. Second down and 10.
Boy, he missed an opportunity there if he's able to catch it. And that ball's getting slippery. But he had hat on hat. Guys were being blocked out there on the edge. He makes that catch. He's going to go a ways.
Fake to him here. Milton winds up, fires long throw, caught first down. Davis right to midfield and falls forward for another yard.
Milton showed you the arm strength on that one. He threw from the middle of the field all the way to the far sideline on a rope.
UCF got that off in 10 seconds, and that is batted down. Second time for a swat for Bryce Huff coming in from that left end position.
Yeah, and McKenzie Milton actually changes his launch point on this. It's a little bit sidearm. You can see he's trying to get around Huff, but Huff's got great hand-eye coordination. He just picked that one out of the air.
Huff with 11 tackles for a loss and 5 sacks, I should say. One of the best in the nation at TFLs. This is Otis Anderson on the give, and no chance at all. Dorcius, the ball came out, but the officials are marking the play dead earlier. Dorcius was the one who slowed that play down. Joseph Dorcius.
The runner's forward progress was stopped. Third down.
His brother, Dorland Dorcius, was a stud running back here, and very quickly, wait a minute, the officials are waiving time here.
Yeah, they caught Memphis trying to change personnel. There were a couple of guys that were in the UCF backfield.
Replay third down.
So UCF had 3 receivers down the right-hand side.
Nobody there. And I don't know if UCF did not substitute, then they should have let that play go. Because the only reason they have to stop it is to match substitution. So if the offense brings a guy in, the defense is allowed to.
Down to 6 to get the snap off. Milton, a lot of defenders coming in. Boy, they read that play. That was almost pass interference by Dorcius on the screen.
Joseph Dorcius, originally a walk-on, got a scholarship last May. Day after graduation, his brother left his team. Dorland, a big-time running back for Memphis. And how about the big guy covering him back in the flat? That's a football player. They use him as a fullback on the goal line at times, too.
That's over 100-pound difference in human beings there going at each other. So UCF 1 for 7 on third down as Loudermilk, who's an excellent kicker, roots this one. And it took a weird little bounce on him. It actually checked up. And Memphis will take it at the 21-yard line. So after an explosive first half, it's a defensive second half.
Presented by Walmart on ABC is brought to you by Nissan. Innovation that excites. And Coke Zero.
So it turns out, Ray, last night I just found out at halftime we were waited on by Justin Timberlake's favorite waiter at the Rendezvous. So a little celebrity sighting on our part.
He's also my favorite, too, so there's that.
The waiter or the singer? Now, Joseph Dorcius has played an exceptional series at last series, so the big fella getting a little break while his offense is out there. He busted up a screen pass and has also had a sack in this quarter.
Made another nice tackle, too. That was the Dorsey series, that last one for the Memphis defense.
Patrick Taylor is in now at the tailback, number 6, giving Henderson a little bit of a break. And Taylor back. But tell you what, one thing UCF has done, whatever adjustment they've made as Gilliard made that tackle, they've made a big adjustment after getting gashed.
Well, both defenses are playing better here in the second half. In the first half, UCF averaged 8.2 yards per play. Memphis, 7.2. Second half, UCF has cut it in half. They're 4.2, and Memphis is just 3.6. We have not seen Henderson really break one here in the second half.
White, 2nd and 9. Throws, and that'll be a first down to the 32-yard line. And the pile just keeps on moving. But the officials, I believe, are going to bring it back to the 32. I'm looking at the official who usually handles the spot, and that was Tony Pollard who carried folks around. And in the rain, Memphis is trying to protect a 12-game home win streak, while UCF, of course, has the longest win streak in FBS right now at 18. Taylor, hole here, makes a man miss. Taylor, first down and more. He'll get to close to midfield.
Good job blocking up front. There was a nice hole for Taylor to get to. Looked off to the left side, and you see, bam, that's a huge hole. You had Kyle Gibson coming up as a safety. He's supposed to make that tackle. He wasn't able to get Taylor to the ground.
17-yard pickup for Taylor. An excellent back in his own right. Junior from Humble, Texas. Taylor again into UCF territory, a couple of yards shy of the first down. Alex has been hanging around that UCF bench. Alex, what do you got?
Dave, frustration is mounting here for the Knights. Adrian Killens Jr. has been shouting out, we've got to call better plays. He's been getting hot down here, but they got to find something to get the momentum going.
Well, you talked earlier, Alex, and Ray, you mentioned about adversity, and UCF is facing it on the field for the first time, serious adversity all season long.
Yeah, and I don't mind guys getting fired up, but finger pointing ain't going to help you.
Neither is allowing Memphis 263 rushing yards going to help you.
Maybe this blitz off the edge will help.
Here they come. Memphis goes the other way, and this time UCF's defense rises up, comes up with a stop for a couple. So now it's going to be 3rd down and 4.
This is a big play for Brady White and company, and it's going to be on him. I think he's answered the bell today for Coach Norvell, and he's got to do it again. I mean, we talked, and they don't play 60 minutes, and it ain't over yet by any stretch. This is a big opportunity for Memphis to keep the foot on the throat.
And I also think it's 2-down territory.
You may have a good point there.
Every once in a while. White missed it. All right, 4th and 4. Now, I thought they might run the ball and get closer, but it's 4th and 4. Look to the sideline.
The way you've been playing defense, you got to punt this football, in my opinion.
The punt team.
If it was the opposite, if this is UCF, yeah, you go for it. But with Memphis with the lead and the way they're playing on that other side of the ball, I say go ahead and pop this thing, try to get them a long field to go.
Yeah, the rain now coming down probably harder than we've seen it so far since it began shortly after the 3rd quarter started. Adam Williams will be on. And Memphis trying to make sure they got either enough or not too many people out there. This one looks like it's headed to the end zone on the fly. And it is almost. So Mackenzie Milton will lead out a UCF offense that, like the Memphis offense, has grown cold in this rain in the Liberty Bowl. Well, this season, Taco Bell is celebrating student sections and passionate fans like that guy, by awarding the best student section of the year. The Memphis Tigers student section's already on the watch list. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. And the ball's on the ground!
And Memphis didn't see it at first. They're rolling around. That's Winston, who was practically laying on it. The question is, did he get it? I don't think so.
No, I believe this is going to stay with the Knights. It is. What a break for them, but it's a loss of 5.
And that rain has intensified, Dave, and now the ball is slippery. It's wet. And you're going to see Milton tries to pull it out, it looked like. and it got stuck in there, and it's right under the legs of Winston, and Milton had to dig it out.
Yeah, this is the heaviest rain we've had here. This is a downpour now in Memphis. A handoff to Killens, and he'll get the 5 back and maybe one more before Akins brings him down. 3rd down and 9, and 3rd down has been a bad down for UCF so far.
See Milton trying to keep his hands not necessarily warm, but dry.
1 for 7, 3rd downs. Milton going to take off. Got to get to the 30. He won't get there. Chased out of bounds by Austin Hall.
That's a huge play by Austin Hall, because UCF's going to have to punt this football away now. This deep in their own territory, there's no thought even of going for it. So Austin Hall, they count on him to make big plays. He just made a real big one there on the scramble.
And the punt safe team was on there just in case Josh Heupel got crazy, but now Memphis races off their defense and puts their punt team out there.
Still be on the alert for a fake. You just never know. And now UCF ran out of time.
UCF, they're first.
Boy,
30
third
seconds.
quarter timeout with 2:51 to go on a punt.
Not good.
It is time for today's. Ducks got to go quicker on the
bad
cue,
timing,
man. Come on, buddy. UCF currently has a 10-game regular season conference win streak. That's second best in FBS. And wait a minute, they're lined up now to go for it. The Duck is going to have to wait.
They tried to catch him.
Timeout. Memphis, they're first. 30 seconds.
Great timeout by Mike Norville.
All right. Apologies to the Duck, but this was important. So anyway, who has the longest current... Affleck. Very good. Longest active conference winning streak. UCF is second in FBS. I'll give you a hint. They haven't played yet today.
Well, that helps.
That should. You can eliminate a lot of teams right off the bat.
Yeah, except I don't know the schedule that well.
Oh, I think I'll put it this way. You've heard about this game. In the meantime, here we go.
Right, I'll think about it.
You think about this. You see here.
They're going to tempo him.
Yeah, let's see. Everybody bunched up, going for it in their own end zone territory.
Look out.
And they're going to get 6 if McGowan doesn't get caught from behind. He won't. Touchdown, UCF on 4th and 2 from their own territory.
Wow. They brought in Tristan Hill, big number 9, the defensive tackle who goes 315. They put him at the fullback spot, and that helped open up the hole. And a gamble by Josh Heupel, that pays off big. He rolled the dice big time, Dave, and got a huge payout.
So do you think Adrian Killens now thinks they're calling better plays?
I think he likes that one.
Nothing is automatic here, by the way. Even a simple PAT might be difficult in these conditions. It is big-time rain right now.
And what I'm talking about at tempo is they break out of the huddle real fast, and they try to get it going before anyone's set. Boy, and they got a good block. Look at that. Number 9, Tristan Hill, just bowling balled his man.
I think Kulubiali, also the tight end, 86, had a nice block as well.
That's how you finish a block right there. I mean, he basically threw a defender, T.J. Carter, out of the saloon. That is a huge play for UCF. The gamble, they went for it on their own, 28? That's an amazing deal. You know what? He had the punt team out ready to go, and then the timeout changed things. And he decided, you know what? We're playing to win, and he went for it. See Pollard on the return. He's going to bring it out to the 32, where Memphis will put it back into action here. And that offense has to answer for Memphis now. There's a player down on the field.
And, yep, I apologize. They've got a little bit of a... It's raining in the booth, so it's starting to mess with some of our equipment just a little bit there. All right, let's give you the answer on Affleck. I mentioned we've talked about it a little bit today, the answer. All right, so let's go over it again. UCF has a 10-game regular season conference win streak. That's the second best. So who has the longest active winning streak? We've mentioned them at least 2 or 3 times today already. Wisconsin.
Amazing to me. What is it, like 14 games or so?
17.
Boom.
And tonight at 7:30 on ABC, Saturday Night Football, presented by Wells Fargo, features a Big Ten battle at the Big House as number 15 Wisconsin takes on number 12 Michigan. It's available live on the ESPN app. You can watch it anywhere. And of course, Wisconsin best in the West, and Michigan a solid 5-1. McCray walking off under his own power.
So they don't consider conference championship games conference games? Is that's what threw me off, I'll be honest.
I believe regular season is what we were looking for here.
So you've got to clarify those things. I have to talk to the duck.
So now can Memphis rebound after a stunner? Looked like their defense had held. And all of a sudden, a disaster, and now they get nothing with Henderson, and UCF feels like they've turned a corner here.
They pulled a couple of linemen, the guard and the tackle. That left a hole for Gilliard to just shoot through, and that's exactly what he did, and makes the hit for a loss. You can feel that the Knights have a little momentum right now. They got a little juice, a little mojo to them.
Just ran right into a curtain of white jerseys. So it's going to be third down and about 8 to go.
And the Knights came up with a football at the end of that, and they're still trying to score a touchdown.
Yes,
they actually ran to the end zone, but that one was stopped, I'm fairly certain. The officials, though, however, are going to confab about it and maybe decide.
If there's an immediate recovery. So let's take a look at this together. I thought the play had been blown dead as well.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. First down, UCF.
But no.
Yeah, that ball was out. There's no doubt. Now, Henderson's practically laying on it. He can't find it. That's why it took a while. And then underneath that pile, Clark, he sees it. No one else does. And he goes and gets it.
To 1-4-5.
First turnover by either team in this game, and suddenly everything was going Memphis's way, and now it isn't.
Yeah, you could see the ball was out, and it came out before Henderson hit the ground, and then he doesn't know where it is. It's almost underneath him, and very alert. Neville Clark saw it and jumped in there and pulled it out for UCF.
Crazy turnaround from where we were just a few minutes ago. Milton, couple of fakes. Drop the ball, stripped. Memphis has it. Recovered by John Tate.
Here they come. Austin Hall comes off the top. He's the one who gets the pressure, but it looked almost like Milton got hit by his own guy. It looked like the tight end. Koulibaly Ali is the one who forced the fumble, unless it just fell out of his hand.
Fourth sack for Memphis.
But give the credit to Austin Hall on that pass rush.
Now Josh Heupel is saying his arm was going forward. I have to say it didn't look that way to me.
It's a good argument.
Replay booth run by Roy Reynolds, who's a veteran official. He is not buzzed down, and he won't. Now, can Memphis do anything with this? Henderson may have been grabbed by the face mask, and here comes the flag from the referee.
Yeah, about 3 or 4 flags flew at that play.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, the 44, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Pretty obvious when you crank the head around like that.
8 penalties on UCF in this game. And that's going to put the football in Knights territory at the 39-yard line. Last few minutes of this game, this is unbelievable.
A little sugar huddle from Memphis, just trying to create tempo by lining up quick and getting the snap off.
Henderson motions out. Fake it that way. Fake it that way. White, this is almost like a mini flea flicker, and he missed an open receiver, and that pass was nearly intercepted.
That was half a Statue of Liberty fake there, and it was wide open. But the ball has become very slick, obviously, as it's been on the ground several times now here in this second half once the rain picked up.
Yeah, the rain has really started coming down the last 10 minutes. Trying to get it to Williams, and he was open.
He was. And it's hard to throw a wet football right now.
So he'll hand it off to Henderson. Henderson to the 36-yard line. That's a 3-yard gain.
Let's go back.
And now we've got flags coming in, and the crowd here is reacting as if this is going to be an unsportsmanlike penalty on UCF. Now that's the crowd and the Memphis bench. Let's see what the officials. 2 flags were thrown.
Coatsy was getting into it, it looked like, with Clark. Way away from the football.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, UCF number 14. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. That's UCF number 14's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
Oh, that is huge. It's going to move at 15, and it's going to put Memphis at the 21-yard line of the Knights. This happened after the play, Ray, far away from the play.
Yeah, poise is so big in a game, a tight game like this. It doesn't matter what the other guy says or does. You just got to stay within the rules. You can't hurt your team. It's a selfish act.
You're 1 score back. Pollard is going to lose 3 back to the 24-yard line. Randy Charlton wasn't buying any of the window dressing that Memphis threw up that time.
Now Charlton used his great hands, got off the block, and then made the hit and stayed with it. Henderson tried his best to get away and wasn't able to.
Memphis is going to let it run out. I think they should. Mike Norvell's already calling them over. That's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter. We're in for a gigantic 4th quarter. UCF trying to protect and extend a winning streak, trying to get to 19 and remain undefeated and stay in the top 10, while Memphis is trying to beat a team that has haunted them in recent years. They have not beaten UCF since the 90s.
And they're going to take their best shot now. They've played outstanding on defense throughout the game, and it's all been Henderson and UCF. Yeah, they're looking at getting an answer here. They're running out of time.
So the 4th quarter is underway. Crazy conditions, bringing out the craziest and most dedicated of the fans. Memphis, 2nd and long.
A little flop tight end action here, changing the strength. Ball's
on the ground. The rain has really taken this game over. UCF recovers the fumble, or so they say.
A big pile up. They'll unpile it, but they did, yes. I believe.
There you are absolutely correct, sir.
This is a jet sweep. They flopped the tight ends both to the other side to create an overload, and now they got the jet sweep coming, and it's just a missed handoff. It looked like White got it up into the chest of his man coming around the edge. And got to tell you, the pigskin is a little greasy right now out here. Ever since that rain hit hard, the ball has been all over the place. On the ground, drop passes, fumbles. I mean, this one was amazing how the ball just laid there for a while. Milton loses it on a pass, and nobody really hit him. The ball is really wet and slippery right now.
The last 6 plays, we've had 3 turnovers. Killins straight ahead. He runs into Curtis Akins after a short gain.
This has really turned into, Dave, almost like who can have a better handle on the football is going to be the one who pulls out of this deal.
What does this do to you? These are 2 wide open play callers in Heupel and Norvell, and they can't do it.
No, you can't, and you got to mitigate your risks here and be real intent on the handoffs. And the other ways you're moving the ball around and changing possession.
Well, that's a nice throw there from Milton. Coming back to the football was number 16, Trey Nixon, a former Ole Miss wide receiver, and that's a first down for the Knights.
And it can be done. People have been playing football in this kind of weather and worse for a long time. But that ball seems particularly slippery of the last, 10 minutes.
Killins, tremendous speed if he gets loose, but Memphis read where he was going. And blowing it for the backfield was number 32, Jacoby Francis.
And Francis kept his leverage because this is a deal where Killins is trying to get outside. He's looking for every gap, but there's his man on the very edge making the play, Jacoby Francis.
6 tackles for a loss for Memphis, 2nd down and 11. Milton.
Nobody open.
He can run it, as we know. On the run, throws, and not even close. 3rd and 11 coming up.
Yeah, they went max protection. They only had 3 men out in the route. And when you go to a scramble drill, it's a lot easier for that secondary to lock onto people. They call it plaster, where you just plaster onto the receiver in your area. And if you don't have one, look around and find one and get to him. Third and long becomes even more treacherous in this kind of weather.
With 3 to snap, Milton gets it. Down the middle, caught! His tight end, Guliali, with a huge grab. And a 1st down for the Knights in Memphis territory at the 40, make it the 39.
Guliali, he's going to run this little bend route right in front of the safeties. The underneath coverage was really good.
And the quick snap here, McCray will get the football, and the flag down, by the way, at the 16-yard line. McCray got a short gain. We'll see what this penalty marker is all about.
Well, when it gets crazy and frenetic like this, that's when Mackenzie Milton is at his best.
It seems to be at a speed he's very comfortable with.
Yeah, he's just a little bit faster than everyone else.
Offside. Defense on the 12th player running off the field. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's so
play is under
fast
further review.
that Memphis could not get set defensively properly.
I think he said they're going to take a look at it to make sure that
yes,
man was on the field. Memphis tried to sneak a quick substitution in there while UCF was cranking the tempo up.
This is our first replay stoppage of the afternoon.
Looks like they're going to decide this one pretty quickly.
First down and 5.
Oh yeah, not even close. So instead of the short gain on the run, they're going to take the 5 yards on the penalty. It'll be 1st down and 5. Well, Josh Heupel wondered about what his team would do in adverse conditions, and it's hard to get any more adverse than what's happened here, but they are just 1 score back after trailing by 13 at halftime.
Yeah, you don't win 18 in a row and not handle some adversity and understand it's a 60-minute deal and you just got to keep on plugging. And I got to give them credit. That's what they're doing. Milton changed his play. I think he went to a run.
It is a handoff. Very patient running that time, and that should a little bit shy of the 1st down for Greg McCray, a former walk-on out of South Florida.
Yeah, Austin Hall was in the box initially, and then he started moving outside where he is now at the bottom of the screen, and that made him change the play.
And McCray's going to get a 1st down and a whole lot more here inside the 10, and a shoestring tackle by Josh Perry kept him out of the end zone.
And they are going as fast as possible right now. They are in the hypersonic speed with this offense.
They
set it and snap it.
Bring in a drier football. That's the only thing that slowed him down. McCray. No, it's Milton. It's Milton. It is Milton. Did he make it over? Yes! He did! A 2.5 gainer for a touchdown.
Yeah, TJ Carter with the assist on the flip. But we've been waiting and talking about Mackenzie Milton carrying the football. They saved the best for last. Obviously breaks the plane right there. And had a nice little landing. But he's happy about that deal. And how about this UCF team? Poised to take the lead with this extra point. But nothing's a given in this weather.
A lot of heat here on the long snapper for sure. Caleb Perez handles it for UCF. The punter, Loudermilk, is the holder. A little bit of a high snap, but well handled. And UCF, the number 10 team in the country, takes the lead with 12:14 to go.
And when it gets cranked up, Mackenzie Milton gets cranked up, and he cranks one into the end zone. And UCF has the lead.
home of the college football playoff.
Crazy rainy conditions, and UCF outscoring Memphis in this half after trailing 30-17 at the half. The rain is really coming down hard, and it has been for about 20 minutes in real time. And this is going to be an awkward non-kick return, but well handled at the 28-yard line. All right. Certainly one of the big themes when you talk about UCF football is the fact that they did not make the college football playoff last year despite being 12-0. And there are a lot of people who don't think they might have a chance this year. So we talked this morning to Bill Hancock, who's the executive director. And he says, for the path, play a good schedule, win your games, and you're going to be in the hunt for the college football playoff.
Yeah, unless you're a Power 5 team. That's my opinion. It's built for the Power 5. I don't think you'll ever see a Group of 5 team crack that playoff.
Cracking into the second level is Henderson. We'll make that Taylor number 6, and that will be a first down for Memphis. Now we're going to see, we mentioned it, and I don't want to let that playoff discussion go away for a second because I think the knock is the schedule.
UCF's schedule rank is 127th in the country.
And Taylor will get a short gain there, so it's going to be second down and about 8. We take a look at what is left for UCF. They'll be going to Greenville next week. Then they have their open date. Then Temple, Navy, Cincinnati, and USF. The latter two are currently ranked. We watched USF escape last night.
We've seen them escape several times this year.
Yes, that's right. We did at one of their games earlier where they escaped. So is that schedule strong enough for UCF to run the table?
No, it's not going to get them where they need to be, even with those big wins.
And a first down here. Tony Pollard will get it into UCF territory. It's going to be, UCF should be in the discussion if they finish 12-0. That'd be 2 straight years of undefeated regular season play. They should at least get some consideration, but I'm with you. If you have unbeaten Alabama's, unbeaten Clemson, unbeaten Notre Dame, if they were able to hang on today, I don't know how you're going to get around that, plus Ohio State.
Yeah, they would need a lot of people to lose games. A big time, 1 and 2 losses for the Power 5 conference leaders and winners.
False start penalty going here against the Tigers. But at the moment, you got to get to that 19th consecutive win, and this is the biggest struggle UCF has had this season. In the first half against Florida Atlantic a few weeks ago, they trailed 17-14 and scored a touchdown right before halftime and then sailed in the second half. They have but they have rode through this half to take the lead from Memphis after trailing by 13. Pollard finding a seam. He'll get the penalty yardage back and a little bit more. You're starting to see defenders begin to grab at the football too. Grant in there on the stop.
Yeah, I mean, it becomes even more critical at this point to protect the football. We've seen it on the ground several times, and you can make a huge play by just taking a shot at that ball, and I guarantee you the Knights are well aware of that.
Ooh, you could see a little bobble there by White. Just the whole rhythm of the play was wiped out. And it certainly didn't help that Titus Davis was in the backfield very quickly as well.
Yeah, they try to pull 2 linemen where Davis is, and the void that's left is how he gets through and gets in there. And yeah, the ball was just a little bit loose in there.
So all of a sudden, you've got 3rd down and a dozen in miserable conditions. Even then, it looked like White had a tough time with the pass, and he's in some trouble and is able to get rid of it and avoid the sack. But Henderson was the intended receiver, the big guy, Tristan Hill, all-conference player a year ago, putting the pressure on. Memphis is now whiffed on their last 5 third downs, and they're going to have to punt.
And this UCF defense has risen up in the second half, I think led in a large part by Tristan Hill. He's been getting a lot more downs in play time in the second half, and he's made a huge impact. Stopping the running game has been the key for the Knights here in this second half.
Williams on the punt. Anderson just inside the 10-yard line. Williams does a nice job with a snap. Kicks this one very, very high. He did his job this time. Williams going to take him inside the 10-yard line down to about the 8-yard line. Poor field position for UCF as they nurse a 1-point lead.
College football on ABC is presented by Walmart. Discover more ways to shop at Walmart today. And in part by Pacific Life. Experience the power of Pacific.
So all over the Memphis campus, you'll find painted tigers in wide varieties. We close with the classic look of a tiger. Right now, that's better be waterproof paint. Yes. We have just been getting hammered for about a half hour or more in real time, probably 45 minutes actually, of just solid rain.
Yeah, that's a picture of our booth actually.
Raindrops have been falling on our head, no question. We may have a false start here.
False start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So UCF has an opportunity
Half the distance
to put Memphis on their heels. They're going to have a long way to go to do it.
This is a huge opportunity for the Memphis defense to get good field position. If they can force a 3 and out from here, yeah, that'll set that offense up, and all they need is a field goal to take a lead.
1st and 14. Short gain here. So it'll be 2nd down and 13 coming up.
Little game of cat and mouse going on. Memphis looked like they were laying back,
Injury timeout.
playing coverage, and Killens is down on the field.
That is the junior from Daytona Beach. A little shaken up.
But then the Memphis team, right at the snap, they brought 3 guys up into the box to stop that run, and they won the game, the chess match in that one.
The rain has changed the character of this game without question. It has slowed Memphis down offensively. UCF has been able to fight through it. The Memphis passing game has gone into hibernation in this half. And also, UCF's done a better job against Darrell Henderson for the most part in this half. We're going to go ahead and take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. We've had about an ocean full of rain today.
That we have, and you see the score by quarters here. Memphis, after that hot first half, has not put anything on the board here in the second.
Here whistles again.
Might be a clock thing again.
Play was stopped because the clock did not start properly. Replay 2nd down.
So we will.
Well, the clock was supposed to start at the ready, and it did not. Now they got it wrong.
False start.
False start. Offense, number 78. Half the distance to the goal. 2nd down.
Half the distance to the goal isn't a very long penalty right now.
And that's the 2nd time they've had one of those. This time it was the other tackle, Wyatt Miller.
It's 11 penalties on UCF.
Uncharacteristic lack of discipline. Making little mental errors.
Still ahead. Trying to make it 19 in a row. Mackenzie Milton will keep the football. Oh, he got hit. Bounced off of that nicely and is just shy of the original line of scrimmage. So it's going to be 3rd down and around 11 here for the Knights.
I find it amazing that Milton kept that football and was in his own end zone, but he stays true and he trusts his reads, and that's what the read told him. I got to pull this thing, it don't matter where I'm at, and he ended up making a little bit of a gain out of it.
59% 3rd down team is 22.2% today. Low snap, Milton under some heat, steps away from it, throws, and it's incomplete. That would have been a 1st down. It's right at the sticks was Davis. It's 4th down.
Yeah, look from my angle, it went right through the arms of Gabe Davis. He's going to run a little comeback route, trying to stick it in there, and yeah, he mistimed it with his hands, and it went right through him. He should have had that. That was a good throw.
So now punting from his own end zone will be the redshirt senior from Valdosta, Georgia, Mac Loudermilk. 2nd team all-conference a year ago. Pop Williams is a very good return man for the Tigers.
They love him to pop one right now.
Low snap. Loudermilk did a great job there. Williams at the 50 into UCF territory. Williams down to the 41, maybe the 40-yard line. A short field for the Tigers, who need just a field goal to take the lead. 7:48 remaining in this American tilt. At half, and so has the leading rusher in the nation, Darrell Henderson, after an explosive first half. Ray, what has UCF done to shut him down?
Well, they played harder. They're adding a guy to the box, and they haven't let them sustain drives. I mean, just 8 carries in the second half for Henderson. He carried it 22 times in the first half. And so they've been stopping him on early downs and taking him out of that run game.
They go to the run game. They go to Henderson, and he spins and picks up about 5. Titus Davis kept that from being a huge gainer there for Henderson.
Yeah, and somewhere Pac-Man Jones is proud of his cousin.
That's right, Titus Davis. Pac-Man Jones, defensive back, pretty close.
Yeah, Davis looked up to Pac-Man growing up. That was the guy he wanted to be like.
Henderson looking for a little gap. He doesn't need much. And it's going to be 3rd down and about 2 coming up.
They're not quite to field goal range yet. They need another first down to give them a shot at that. At least a comfortable shot.
Well, again, I think it's 2-down territory.
Yeah, I believe they'll probably, well, let's see what happens on this play. But if it's an opportunity, yeah, go for it.
They've grown cold on 3rd down, Memphis. They've missed their last 5. Henderson. Oh my gosh, what a move. 25, Henderson 20, 15, Henderson 10, 5, 4. Touchdown, Henderson! Flag is down at the 33-yard line.
Yeah, and if you ask Titus Davis, he says this one's coming back, and I think he's right.
Yeah.
Get a hold at the point of attack.
Offense, number 56, 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Yeah, you could tell immediately by the reaction of the Memphis players and bench that this was not happening.
Yeah, they got number 56, Dylan Parham, and he's the one who had the hold. And it was kind of a takedown in the middle of the line there, and tough call.
So, take the 6 off the board, and now it's 3rd and 12. Changing so much because now it's hard to throw the football accurately.
And no longer are you in 4-down territory, at least the way it looks now.
White, little pressure, pocket collapsing, and he's sacked for the first time today.
Like Brendan Hayes got in there.
The redshirt junior from Nolans.
You're going to see number 6 at the top of your screen. He does a little up and under move, gets a push off of Dustin Woodard, and continues his momentum right into the face of Brady White. Now, White had his back open over the middle, but he couldn't see it because of the massive human in front of him.
The wild mood swings of this game take another shift as Williams will try again to stick this inside the 20. He did. Out of bounds at around the 19-yard line. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. on ESPN, Sunday NFL Countdown takes you inside the New England Patriots locker room with a story behind the "Oh yeah" mantra that has capped off every Pats victory for more than a decade. And Monday at 8:15 Eastern on ESPN, Monday Night Football Week 6 has the 49ers taking on the Packers. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern with the Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. Simulcast in Spanish on ESPN2 and always available as we are right now on the ESPN app.
Oh, yeah. I just had to do it. It sounds like fun.
It is fun. This game has been fun.
Yes, it has. And it's still good. It's 6 more minutes of fun on the clock right now. It's still up in the air.
Williams goes in motion. They hand it to him. Memphis all over him, but he managed to squeeze a couple of yards out of that toothpaste tube. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Fake to McCray. Milton dumps it off close to the mark. Williams will break a tackle. What the effort there by number 7 for Memphis, Curtis Akins, who was spying Milton and then ended up having to race over to make the tackle.
Yeah, great effort by Akins, the new father had a baby a couple weeks ago. Left actually last week during halftime of the game to go witness the birth. But how about Milton and his ability to get the ball out accurately so quickly after buying time and extending the play?
McCray, stutter step, disappears. Can't even see him hardly. No gain. Jonathan Wilson, swamp donkey, out of Louisiana, ties him up.
Nice play in there along with Emmanuel Cooper as well in this inside defensive line. Those guys have played really well today. They've shut the run down throughout the entire afternoon. No hurry up here. UCF is content to let that clock wind down now that they're ahead.
Took it all the way down to 1 on the play clock. Milton on the keeper. Didn't fool the defense. Short gain. Here comes another big 3rd down and long. As you saw that time, Tyrese Lindley in there on the stop, number 22.
Good discipline, staying home and keeping your eyes active and understanding Milton could show up at any time.
McGowan is the running back.
Confusion.
Timeout.
Timeout. UCF, their second. 30 seconds.
They take a break. We all take a break. And a few deep breaths.
There's a great bit of coaching by Josh Heupel here at the end of that last one. He's trying to give Milton the signals, and McKenzie calls a timeout. Look at the reaction of Heupel. No, no, no. And then he turns it right around and watch him wink at his quarterback and let him know, it's okay, we're going to be all right. See that? I love that because you got to hide that frustration. You don't want to have your player thinking you're down on him or anything like that in such a critical situation.
3rd down and 8. You see the scoring time. A 1-point difference with 3.5 to go. UCF trying to protect their win streak. And now Memphis.
Timeout. Memphis, their second. 30 seconds.
That leaves both teams with 1 timeout remaining.
And it kind of lends
Please
to
put 3:30 on the game clock.
It lends to how critical this 3rd down is. And Memphis needs the ball back. They want to make sure they got everything right. On the other hand, UCF, they want to keep this football, keep draining the clock because they've got the lead. So this is a huge play in the ballgame.
Well, some big news. If UCF can hang on here, Georgia is getting stomped by LSU. That's going to jump LSU. I think it's going to benefit the Gators, who beat LSU. It's going to knock Georgia down several pegs. We'll see how the voters, if UCF hangs on, mind you, and how they treat UCF in the polls.
I think they got to move up if they win and other people ahead of them lose.
Pressure coming, picked up nicely. Milton, I don't know if that's going to be a 1st down.
It's not. They're going to be a yard short. And that's a route mistake by Gabe Davis. So when he runs a comeback like that, he's got to get the sticks. He choked it down 1 step too soon. Then you come back for the ball. He's got to take that up the field and make sure that if he does catch it, it's a 1st down. Look, they're going to go for it again.
They did it at their own 28-yard line and ran for a touchdown.
They're meaning to win this ball game, and they're meaning to earn it.
Where do they get the offside penalty here? Clock at 6. Play clock at 4.
Timeout.
And now they're out of them.
It was worth the gambit.
Timeout. UCF, their 3rd and final. 30 seconds.
Especially because the last time they were in that formation, Tristan Hill basically steamrolled his man and they busted it to the house. So Memphis had to respect this particular set in this situation because you see what happened the last time it rolled out.
That was when it was 30-17 Memphis. UCF was at their own 28-yard line, facing 4th and a yard to go. They went for it. You saw the result, and this game has not been the same since.
Nice little gamesmanship again by Josh Heupel. I think he's an outstanding head coach, Dave. I don't know if we've gotten into his story enough yet today because the game's been so good. But the way he came in, one of the first things he did with his football team is bring together a leadership council and say, what do you guys want? What's important? Well, this 4th down is very important.
I wonder if we just snap it directly to the QB. No, there's going to be a handoff, and there's going to be a 1st down for UCF. And now Memphis is going to have to start burning the one timeout they have.
And it's Tristan Hill who's in that ball game again, the 315-pounder as the fullback. And you just get behind him, and you're going to get the 1st down because nobody's slowing or stopping him.
Yeah, tight end Jake Hescock also coming in there, 88 in these situations. He had a key block on the touchdown, as did Hill. And now you're going to see the slowest tempo UCF can possibly run. But remember, they don't have a timeout, so they got to hurry. And you can see they got to get moving.
Yeah, the play clock's down to 5.
Milton, he'll keep it. He made a little something out of what appeared to be nothing. Gain of 3.
And if I'm Memphis, I use that last timeout.
Timeout. Memphis.
And you know what?
3rd and final.
They
30
didn't
seconds.
need to take it because Milton's shaken up on the play.
Yeah, but it's an injury situation, so the clock would have started on the ready and they'd have still lost that time. So
yeah, but
in that regard. But that is Mackenzie Milton. And
we're getting a new quarterback for at least a play. And it's going to be Daryl Mack, a redshirt freshman from Norfolk.
And this happened last week where Milton went out a little bit for just a moment or two. And Mack had to come in for him, and he did well.
And it looks to be a cramping situation with Milton. He's taking some liquid, and they are giving him the kind of stretch you see when a player is suffering from cramps.
In UCF, with no timeouts left, Milton has to go out for at least one play. If they had a timeout, they could burn it and keep him in, but they don't have any. So we're definitely going to see a backup quarterback here in this critical situation.
And happy to say that Milton is able to get up under his own power. So Daryl Mack, he's a fine runner. He actually has a 70-yard touchdown run to his credit this year.
And that's his style. They want to make him a dual threat guy. Right now, he's primarily a running threat.
So Daryl, how was the big Memphis game? I didn't do anything until about 3 hours later, and I had to come in and when we have to protect the football.
And he's got to be cold and wet down there.
No question. And not expecting to get in. Tonight at 1 a.m., or actually tomorrow morning at 1 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Correction. Play was stopped for an injury to the UCF player. The play clock will be set to 25 seconds. Memphis is not charged with their 3rd and final timeout, and the clock will start on my signal.
So they basically saved 15 seconds.
And the timeout.
And the timeout.
As I was about to say before I was necessarily interrupted that time. At 1 a.m. Eastern on ESPN, after Crawford Benavidez, we got Sports Center with Max and Stan, Teddy Atlas and Stephen A. We'll talk about the fight. We'll have the best in college football, this game undoubtedly included. Highlights and analysis from the Dodgers and the Brewers and the Astros and the Sox. Sports Center available on the ESPN app.
That's a good trade for Memphis. Just 25 seconds and get their timeout back. They get a stop here. They stop on this down. They can use that timeout, force a punt, and have almost 2 minutes left.
So Milton will watch for this one play. Low snap, and they're going to have to eat it. Mack and Killens were right by it, and Otis Anderson ended up falling on the football.
Timeout. Memphis, their 3rd and final. 30 seconds.
There's the timeout. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 11 now. But here's the snap you mentioned, Dave, was low and hard at the knees. And it didn't look to me like Daryl Mack was anticipating the snap at that point.
Well, 3rd down and 11. Clock stopped with 1:59. Neither team has a timeout.
This is another opportunity here for Memphis to get off the field and get a chance to get the football back in their hands with time to come down and need only a field goal to win this one.
But their offense is ice cold right now. They have not been able to ignite the same kind of run game. They had a touchdown taken off the board, the Henderson run that could have changed this whole game. It was wiped out by a holding penalty. And then the very next play, Brady White was sacked for the first time today. And UCF has been able to take a little bit of time off the clock. What are you looking for here from the UCF perspective on this play call?
I would like to get myself in a scramble situation, to be honest with you. So I'm calling a longer developing route. And, you know, it'll happen as it happens. You can't call a scramble necessarily.
You're going to throw it?
But I would throw it.
Okay. Because if you don't get it,
there's a lot of time left. I don't think stopping the clock is going to be that big of a deal.
They're going to hand it off. They're not going to get the first down, but they're going to burn off plenty of time. And Aikens, a little shaken. They need to get him either taken to or get him off the field quickly. He's struggling.
They didn't want to stop the clock again, that's for sure. And so the way it looks now, Memphis will get the ball back with a little over a minute left. We'll see how far they have to go, depending on this punt.
I would imagine we will see a delay of game penalty here taken by UCF just to burn more clock. And that's,
the 5 yards are irrelevant.
They don't even have their punt formation lined up yet. Down to 2 seconds and we get a flag. That's a penalty Josh Heupel will not be upset.
Delayed. Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So now with 67 seconds remaining, Pop Williams is your returner.
Please reset the game clock to 1:10.
70 seconds remaining. Pop Williams is your punt returner. He came in averaging over 10 per try.
Or do you go after a punt? I mean, given the way the ball is slippery and that kind of thing, it might not be a bad gamble to go with the all-out blitz.
Loudermilk is averaging 42. They do bring the heat! And Loudermilk is able to get off a sideways wobbler. Williams makes a tough, fair catch at the 15. We got a minute and 9 to go, Cassidy. What do you got? Wow. Well, we knew that Georgia was going to struggle. It's impressive to me that LSU's doing that, Ray, because I was in the swamp watching that game against the Gators. That was a draining, physical battle, and they come right back. That's a lot of credit to Ed Orgeron and his players.
In Death Valley. I mean, that helps a lot, having that bad boy at home.
That's true. So here we go. The 15-yard line. Can Brady White lead this drive without a timeout? Neither team has a timeout.
Memphis has upset top 25 teams 4 consecutive times here at home, and the large reason is the play of their quarterback. They need it again.
Wobbler here, and they're going to get a first down, and the tackle is broken. Coxie, let's see when they mark him out of bounds. All the way past the 40 to the 46.
And they find a little hole in between the safety and the corner. And I don't know what Clark was biting on, but he bit on something.
31 yards on that one. White has time toward Coxie. It's too far. Memphis would like an interference penalty on Clark. They're not going to get it. Stops the clock. 53 seconds to go. It's 2nd down and 10. Riley Patterson. Last night, Mike Norvell told us, if it's for the game, I'll do 49 yards and in. So that means they have to get to the 32-yard line of UCF. White going to his left again. 3rd down and 10 coming up. Clark again in coverage.
And another nice play by Clark. I thought he might have got away with an interference on the previous play. This one was outstanding timing. I mean, he was all over Coxie.
48 seconds left. 3rd and 10.
And obviously, Memphis has 2 downs to convert this.
Memphis has missed their last 6 3rd downs. Henderson could be an option out of the backfield as a receiver. He's in there next to White. He slips out. White. Got to do something. He'll throw it to the stick. It's going to be caught into UCF territory. Goes Dykes, the tight end, to the 35-yard line. That will stop the clock.
You got to get up there and spike this football.
Gain of 19. The clock hasn't started yet. Now it has. False start. Boy, they took too much time. And now, instead of having that chance at a 52-yard field goal, they lose 5 yards here.
That Travion Tate had a hiccup. Backs him up.
And you know, in retrospect, your comment about the spike was right because they took too much time.
Yeah, I can't believe they didn't just go spike it.
Offense, number 72, 5-yard penalty, first down. Because the clock was running, this penalty includes a 10-second runoff.
Yes, it does.
Please reset the game clock to 18 seconds.
That is so damaging.
The clock will start on my signal.
And you can't take a timeout to erase the runoff either because you don't have
any. And the other part of this, Dave, with only 18 seconds left, it's getting time to throw it towards the edges and maybe get yourself out of bounds.
Oh, there's no maybe about it. If you don't get a first down the middle of the field, you're in big trouble. White is in big trouble right now, trying to improvise. Throws on the run. A diving catch is made, but it is not out of bounds.
That's it.
To the 31-yard line. And that's it.
That's the end of the game.
UCF has won 19 straight games and none more dramatic than this one.
A heartbreaker for Brady White and company. They had it in position and couldn't get out of their own way in managing those last 30 seconds of this ball game. And how about the wherewithal and the fortitude of these Knights? I mean, we talked to them about adversity. They faced it today in a big way, and they answered the bell.
Memphis did everything they could, and it wasn't enough. They were shut out in this second half as we take a look at the last play of the game.
Brady White's just scrambling. He's got a chance. He thought he might have been able to run, but a great play. Making that last tackle, getting the man down in bounds to save the day. And Pollard, he's trying to, he knows he's got to get out of bounds. He lays out to get it, but that play took so long that it just ate up all the clock that was left. And give Richard Causey a lot of credit for making that play.
Let's go down to the field, and Alex is standing by with Mackenzie Milton.
Mackenzie, your team was down 13 points going into the locker room. You come out, it's pouring rain. What can you say about this comeback win?
Man, first of all, I'm grateful to God for giving us this opportunity against a great team. I'm just so proud of our boys, man. We battled. Hats off to Memphis. They played a great game, but you know, to be a great team, you have to win games like this.
19 wins straight wins now. You mentioned you got to be able to battle in games like this. What did you learn about this group?
We're resilient, and when things get tough, we're going to stick together, and I think that's the main thing. That's beautiful. I love my guys to death. I'm just proud of them.
Mackenzie, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Mackenzie Milton finished 17 of 29 for 296 and a touchdown. An incredible ball game. A special thanks to our crew in this rain. For Ray Bentley and Alex Cordry and our entire ESPN family, I'm Dave Lamont. UCF wins it 31-30. Let's send you to the studio.